And it's good friends, good games. It is episode 34. We got 4 people today. I almost hit the wrong button. We got 4. It's 4 people today. Everis has returned. Everyone, let's hear for Everis. All right. February 3rd, episode 34. Everis is back. Everis, you were gone for the month of January.
Yes, I was.
Ooh, I know why. They finally released her on bail, and we were not legally required to talk about it.
On what?
Zen,
On
Zen.
bail.
The FBI will come to you.
Obstruction charges of justice. And then she went to jail because she tried to become a doctor, and then they were like, "No, you can't probe that."
Oh my!
That's my case.
Wait, I was on Veil, like VEIL.
Bail.
No.
Bail.
So
Like a bale of hay.
Bail as in like bail. Why would you say bale of hay?
Because it's the other bail. Because it's the other bail.
Yes, you were brought out of prison on a bale of hay.
That's so weird.
You know, I gotta leave in style.
Yeah, some people leave jail. Some people leave jail on bail, and then there's just Everis with like the hay ride.
Could you imagine?
Oh my!
Wearing
God.
overalls and sporting the farmer Zen look
With the wheat thing in her mouth.
Yeah, the one straw.
Yeah, the wheat straw in her mouth.
Yeah, you left that jail and you were like, "This is the last straw."
Anyway,
Stupid joke. Stupid
That
joke.
sounds like
We've
that sounds like a parody crime drama thing that some like a SNL would create. Honestly,
You're welcome. Everis is my co-writer.
This is your co-writer.
Yeah.
It sounds like we're back to a normal Good Friends, Good Games episode.
yippee!
Yeah, S
You
Zen L.
just needed the Everest weirdness. That's all.
We just needed the Everest weirdness, a little bit of the Everest sass.
Mm-hmm.
It's you don't know what you have until it's gone for a little while. Like the Everest sass was missing, and like
don't
like
make me cry.
Like who keeps us in line? Morgan ain't doing it. Morgan is an accomplice.
No,
Morgan
I keep
is
Morgan
the
in line.
Morgan's a
Morgan's
gremlin.
the worst.
Yeah.
Morgan's the
Morgan's
worst.
an enabler.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Anyway,
but who, am I
Everest,
going but who am I going to bully now?
Well, technically, you're not supposed to bully anybody. We just haven't said anything.
That's not in my contract.
I have to look at that.
All right.
Mental note:
nominate
don't
Erik.
let them write their own contracts.
Erik, I thought you were the mediator. I thought we established that you're the mediator.
I'm going to be straight honest with you right here, right now. All right. My job as mediator is to simply see that I don't get in trouble. This is a
Saving his
fight.
own arse.
Fed for yourself here. I'm just trying to not get in trouble. The opinions of this group are not of my own. Or however the legal geese of that is.
Us.
That is fair.
The legal,
Sorry.
whatever the legal geese of that is.
Totally distracting the whole conversation.
But yeah, do share. You have some pretty big life stuff.
Life's crazy. I had been considering. Well, I'll just tell you what it is. So I am enrolled in a doctoral program for acupuncture and herbal medicine. It's a 4-year program. It's and eventually this June we'll be moving down to Phoenix so that I can do the in-person classes as well. So that's kind of the big news. But it wasn't really random. Like I'd been considering it for a while, but because where I live, there isn't a lot of opportunity available at this time. And now we're like, oh, we're moving. Okay. So I decided to delve back into that possibility. And here we are. It was crazy though, because I reached out to the school and I was like, you know, I'm interested in the school. Like what I have to do? Like what's the process there? And they're like, well, do you have XYZ? And I was like, yeah. They're like, you can apply right now, you know? And I'm like, well, I don't have to be there. And like, no, it's pretty cool. Actually. It's a dual program. So it's both online and in person. And they're like, oh, we'll take all the online classes right now. And then you can do the in-person ones later. I'm like, great. This is awesome. So, it kind of just came super fast in like the span of maybe like 2 weeks. So it went from like 0 to 100 really fast.
You know what's kind of interesting? If there's ever like a Joker origin story on this that happens on this podcast, we have one of our podcast members that is legally going to school so that they can just legally say that they can stab you.
Yeah, okay,
What?
but
Huh?
okay.
Acupuncture.
Oh.
I get where you're going with that point. I get where you're going, but I don't think you realize how small these needles are. So you can fit 16 acupuncture needles in the point of one injection needle. So like a flu shot, you can fit 16 needles in the end of a flu shot needle. That is how small these things are.
So we need to be stabbed 16 times is what you're saying there, Everis. Got it.
23 stab wounds in the chest.
28 stab wounds.
Oh, 28 stab wounds.
Those stab
That's
wounds
the
are going to
one.
make you feel incredible by the end of it.
We're already.
I got
That sounds
stabbed by
really
Everis and I
shy.
liked it.
That sounds really psychopathic, but okay. That
I
sounds
mean,
really
my
terrible.
mind went somewhere else, but okay.
Legal stabbing should be the title of today's podcast.
Legal stabbing.
Yeah, legal 28 stab
No.
wounds.
Just legal stabbing.
Okay,
Yeah,
I
just
gotta
stab
say
him.
this. I gotta say this right now, Everest. If Dill says, "Hey, we're gonna go visit Elon," do not go because Dill said some incriminating things a couple
Did I?
weeks ago. Yes,
Did I? When?
I do believe
What
the
did I do?
term was, "I want to unalive Elon Musk."
I say a lot of stuff. When did I say this? When did I say
Episode
this?
32.
You're lucky he's not a politician, Dill.
I mean, he controls most of them, so I don't know. Probably.
I realize. Okay, I know there's a lot of hate for Elon Musk, but you have to understand the advancements he's made into space. You know,
Not him. His company.
he
his company
brought
has
it
made
to
it.
life,
Okay.
though. He brought it to
He-
life.
All right.
To me, Elon is just a money person, like basically. Like the
But here's the
company
thing,
is the
though.
one who actually did
Okay.
this.
Here's where Elon's talents lie, right? Is he the one that like conjures up all the like the genius ideas behind Tesla and all that stuff? No,
He's the
we're not by-
idea man.
He's the idea man. But what he does do, and he has a very good talent of it, this is also the talent Steve Jobs had, is he manages to take something very complicated and explain it and sell it in a way that the average person will understand. I was listening to him.
So Elon is basically the salesman.
No, but
Yeah,
well
but
that
Well,
Yeah, that's basically
Sort
all he
of.
is. The salesman.
So I'll give you I'll give you the perfect example of this. He was on Joe Rogan, and Joe Rogan asked him, said, "Hey, how long does it take to charge a Tesla fully?" And he went and he did this whole explanation of how like these large rechargeable batteries work, and he basically compared it to a parking lot that is empty in the morning and then fills up as time goes on, and as the parking lot gets more full, it takes longer for the last cars to find parking spots, the last cells to fully charge. Like, because the ions are moving around within this battery and finding places to park and charge. It's really, and I was like, wow, okay, that makes sense. And there was a ton of electrical engineers and all that stuff in the chat confirming what he's saying. So
Yeah. So basically, he got told what to say, and he said it.
you can't prove that he was told what to say and he said it. You're just making that assumption. You can't
Ladies
make
and
that
gentlemen,
assumption.
everyone
seriously
go
don't
and
believe-
tag go to Elon Musk's Twitter and tag Big Deal Gamer and tell Elon that Big Deal Gamer would like to challenge him to
He's
a
in it for it.
conversation,
No, he would have challenged him for a pokey battle.
a pokey battle. Yeah,
You're
I'm sorry, but if this was like 2 years ago, I'd probably agree with you. I think Elon Musk is smart, but after all the shit that he has done over the last
I'm
course of
not
the last
s- I'm
year,
not
I
saying
don't
he's-
believe he's intelligent.
I'm not
I
even
don't.
saying he's a it has nothing to do with intelligence. It has to do with sanity. And those are two very different things.
Funny.
Two very different things.
I
You know?
I think he's more. I'm sorry.
Being
go ahead.
rational versus irrational.
Yeah, he makes a
That's
lot
nothing
of
to do with
irrational.
intelligence.
Yeah, he makes a lot of irrational decisions, and then when the decisions don't work right, he goes and he looks at it and he's like, "Okay, yeah, that was stupid," and then he tries a different plan. But he's like the guy that has the guts to be like, "Oh, what happens if I lay off 75% of my
he
programming
literally
staff?"
doesn't care. It's like
Right.
it's a personality trait thing.
Yeah, he's also not someone that admits that he did something wrong.
He just happens to be at the forefront of.
No, he complains on Twitter when
he's just
when
like random bullshit go.
The thing is, when someone actually critiques him and calls him out, he will do that at first, and then later on, he will basically just like bullshit them. Basically, he will literally insult them. That's what he does.
He's
a lot of people do that.
He's in the same
That's what the internet
limelight.
does.
Yeah. He's in the same limelight as Steve Jobs, Jeff Bezos, etc., etc. And here's the thing. We all don't like Jeff Bezos, right? But we all sit there at our house waiting for our Amazon package to show up twice, 2-3 times a week.
The difference is Jeff Bezos is quiet.
You know what bothers me about Elon Musk? It's the fact that I see like a lot of resemblance between him and my dad. Because
here we go.
The thing is, I said to my daughter today that my dad thinks he's a Giga Chad, but the moment he's challenged, he crumbles like a 10-year-old who lost into Fortnite.
Yeah, I could see that happening.
But the difference between Elon Musk and my dad is that, like, well, Elon Musk has money, my dad has no money.
The reality of it is like these people are the internet, and the only reason they're getting crap for it is because they're a public figure.
Right.
But we all do this shit. We all do this crap, just on a much smaller scale.
I say stupid things all the time. Like
the difference is that Elon is a person who has a lot of money, a lot of power, and has a lot of people working under him. And what he says and does affects the image of all these companies that he owns.
He has control. He has control. And
does
Because would you have the same disdain? Would you have the same disdain for him, Dill, if he wasn't in charge? Like, what if he was just a random guy at Tesla that went off his rocker?
Well, then his opinion wouldn't really matter at all because he's just a random person. That's what I mean. He's a CEO of like multiple companies. He had a spotless image, and he basically blew that when he bought Twitter, pretty much.
Let that sink in.
Yeah. The one thing that he literally purchased himself and was his original idea to buy it, and he's blown it up completely.
Yeah, I just don't use it. But honestly, I'm more pissed off by the community behind Twitter than I am of Twitter itself.
My issues lie with the communities on Twitter and communities or fandom communities in general. But anyway, back to the crux of this actual conversation. It's a little early, but congratulations, Dr. Everis.
Whatever.
No,
congratulations, Dr. Just.
No.
Are you going to be one of those ones? I want to know. Are you going to be one of those ones that when you check into the hotel, you're going to be like, yeah, Dr. Everis?
I've thought about this. I've actually thought about this. Do I want to be one of those doctor assholes where I...
Yes. Yes, do it.
I'm like, well, I got my doctorate, so you call me doctor. I had a teacher like that in college. She was a community college English professor, and she made it very clear to refer to her as Dr. whatever her name was. And I was like, you're in community college.
In professional settings, like I think in professional settings among colleagues and stuff, like I feel like in professional settings among colleagues and stuff, like I feel like, hey, Dr. So-and-so is a reasonable request. You earned it, you worked hard for it.
The way she approached it was very like serious and I was like, all right.
If someone skips it or forgets, I would be like, "Oh, that's fine."
You're a doctor of English. Sorry.
You're sorry.
There are standards here to being doctors. Everis has got to call this.
Yes.
Well, it's one of those things. Like, if you're a doctor in English, what do? You're a teacher. You can't really do anything else. You can maybe be an editor. Maybe you're an editor. What else can you do with it? What else can you do with a doctor of English?
I don't know.
Really know how to speak English.
That's something to do with. It's not speaking English. It's like forming.
It's mannerisms and punctuality and whatnot.
It's like those people that get like doctorates in Russian literature and stuff like that. Like, what the hell are you gonna do with it?
I don't know. I think it's just like a passion thing, right? It's like, I'm really passionate in this language. I want to know everything about it. and not really thinking about, well, how is this going to affect my future? Which is fine. People can go over their passions. It's fine. It's just a really expensive passion.
Yeah. But yeah, congratulations.
Thank you. Thank you very much. I don't know. I don't know if I'm going to be that kind of person.
We'll find out.
It might be one of those things where at first I care, and then eventually it's just like, yeah, whatever. I did that. Let's move on with my life.
Zenith, we're going to need a Dr. Everis spotlight placard.
Oh, don't worry. What I'll do is I'll just update Everis's overlay to like show her doctor's certificate, and then I'll even like get like one of those like doctor uniforms, and I'll have like a name tag that says Dr. Just.
Dr. Just. But yeah, I'm genuinely bottom of my heart proud of you. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yes.
Yeah.
Honestly,
It's
really
solid.
proud of you. Jokes aside.
It's
Yeah.
crazy. It's crazy. I don't know. I never thought that I would be in this place. I'm not even graduating yet, and I'm already like, I'm so surprised I'm in this place.
Yeah. I mean, the fact that you went over there and you talked to them and they said, yeah, you're in, like, well, obviously they
Yeah.
weren't like, yeah, you're in, but you did the work to get in and get, accepted.
I had to write it. I had to write a paper. I had to get referrals. I had to get, I had to do a bunch of stuff. So it wasn't just like fill out this form and then, so
Yeah.
it was
And
more than that.
So yeah, congratulations on that. And as far as the pod goes, the three of us unanimously here, we're saying Everis stays aboard the ship. We will steer the ship in the directions that help Everis as much as possible. So
Really? You guys are the best.
Pod schedule may flip flop around. There may be 2 weeks in a row together. There may be ones where there's only 3 weeks, but we will do our best to work within Everis's schedule because that's what we all unanimously agreed on. And we will do our best to do that. And then Everis has every right to be like, hey, go do an episode. I'll be back next week or type of thing. So, but
Yeah.
we will steer this ship in the best direction so Everis can stay on board.
Thank you so
And
much.
That's the commitment we have made. All three of us talked about it. That's what we unanimously agree on. So as far as that goes, not much plans to change here.
I appreciate you.
Yep.
Thank you so much. That makes
Yeah.
me feel so like important and special.
And not to say that Morgan didn't do a great job, because Morgan did a great job the month of January. She did a great job.
She did a great job, and then she talked about her Baldur's Gate character.
Stop
and
it,
then
Zenith.
Zen had to immediately chime in and say, well, she did this wrong and this wrong and this wrong and this wrong. And then we all just
You
kind of
threw
went,
her under
"Stop
the
it."
bus, Zen. That's what
I
you
didn't
did.
just throw her under the bus. I
I'm not
backed up, and
convinced-
then I went in
I'm not convinced
fourth
that-
gear, and then
I'm
I
not
backed up again.
I'm not
and then
convinced
parked the bus
that-
on top of her.
She would have. I'm not convinced that she would have said some of the things that she said on her own. I think that you
Mhm.
threw. I think you threw freaking lighter fluid on the fire. And just-
Zen
Then
was
I
the
parked
one
the bus on
driving the
top of her,
bus.
so you're
Here.
right.
Let's be honest. It wasn't threw it on the bus. He threw it onto the bus, and he was driving the bus as well.
Yeah,
You
and I lit on
ass.
fire, as you said.
You asshole. You ass.
But yes, Morgan did a fantastic job. She's great. She covered for Everis during the month of January, and we appreciate her for it. And she did a fantastic job. And Morgan will be back. She is not going back behind the scenes fully just yet. She will be back, but there is something about not having that Everis, that little hint of Everis sass, and a little bit of criticism from Everis that you just don't have there, and then you're kind of like,
Sassverse.
Speaking
Yeah.
of sass.
Mm.
Oh, you guys didn't know.
Oh,
I posted my Gero.
yes, oh, that's what I'm looking at. So yeah, we missed you. We're glad you're back. Dale was off last week as well, so Dale,
Yeah.
I hope you are back and recouped. And
Yeah. I just I'd forgotten that I'd agreed to swap shifts with a coworker like back in September, basically, because he was going to this party thing.
Mhm.
And then I got invited to the same party. So I was just like, oh. And I didn't remember that I'd agreed to do that until the week prior when my coworker messaged me and was like, hey, do you remember you agreed to do this? And I'm like, no. And then he brought the chat log and I was just like, oh, I guess I did. So yeah. But I
all
only
good.
worked till like 8, and then me and my other coworker went to my other coworker's 21st birthday party thing, so it was nice. Yeah.
Well,
that was my evening on that Saturday.
You're back. I hope you had a good weekend, but from what you were telling us, it didn't sound like a good weekend. So we'll let you skip the details.
Yeah.
Yeah. But yeah, we hope you feel better. I don't know, Zenith, did anything new exciting happen to you in the past 7 days?
Well, I was very busy, but like that's why I didn't really have much time to actually play any games recently, except for like on stream. But I did go see one of my buddies. I think it was on Thursday, and he's a buddy of mine who's a drummer for a couple of bands actually, and one of them just recently released a new album. So but I got him to join me for like a little project that I haven't exactly really talked about. But him and I did a thing where I played a whole bunch of video game OSTs. So he's a metal drummer. So he's into like heavy metal. But so I played OSTs, and then he would have to kind of like predict because I had a whole bunch of like heavy metal renditions of the video game songs that I played for him. And he would try and like predict, but like, okay, so what are they gonna do for this song? Because like he writes like a lot of songs and he knows his music. So it's a fun little passion project that we did, and I'm excited to one day show it to people.
Hell yeah, I want to hear this.
Yeah. And just the only thing is like I don't know like if I should like release it to like Patreon or something like that, because like I don't know if any of the songs that I played was like copyrighted.
Oh yeah.
Okay, yeah.
But yeah,
is there a way you can test it to see if it's copyrighted? Like, is there a way you can do that?
That's a good question. I don't know.
Yeah,
Avery does something to bypass the Lucia. She does something to bypass the
because she
music scanner when she does her dancing videos.
Yeah, because I think like the Just Dance, like it actually uses the real songs that are in the game.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, sorry, from the artist, and not only that, those are all artists that are like they have their own labels and they're huge. They're going to sue the hell out of you if you use their music in a way that they didn't give consent. Whereas the artists that I'm playing probably don't have their own label because they're just like rock or metal covers of video game songs that they didn't really have like the legal rights to perform anyway, but you were still allowed to do covers for it anyway, right?
Yeah.
Like that's why like a lot of streamers like is all right, starting stream, but gonna give you guys like a bit of a countdown, and then you have like 7 to 8 minutes, so they just play like whatever like video game music because like you're allowed to do that.
So here's a fun fact. Do you remember that TikTok video where the dude was cruising on the longboard and he was playing like skating to Fleetwood Mac?
No, I haven't seen it.
What was that guy's name? He was like skating and then he was like drinking orange juice or something. I forget his name. It's a very, very like viral TikTok video, like huge, like millions of views, right? So
wait, is it the skateboard guy?
Yeah, the skateboard guy, and he's like skateboarding on a longboard to Fleetwood Mac. I forget what the guy's name is, but
Nathan
anyway.
Operdker.
I don't sound.
No, it's the no. I just found it.
Nathan Albuquerque.
I just found it.
Yeah, Nathan Apodaca.
Yeah, so before that might be his real name, yeah. But so before we get to video games here, so that guy did that video, right? So here's the thing: Fleetwood Mac is very split down the very split down the middle of what songs can be used on YouTube and which ones
TikTok.
get like enforced with copyright and stuff. So Fleetwood Mac was a band run by two individuals, basically, that were leaders of the band, Stevie Nicks, and then the other guy's name is forgetting me for a split second here, but it'll come to me. But and the other gentleman that played guitar, right? So the songs that he wrote, he like heavily copyright strikes and all of that stuff. Like he's very heavy into that, right? This particular song, she had the rights to, and she allowed it to be used. And then she even embraced it because she even did a video like of her tying roller skates and stuff on TikTok to the same song, like as an homage to the other guy. And it made her millions of dollars because that song went viral on TikTok, and then people hit Spotify and they start streaming it on Spotify and then YouTube and all that stuff. And there's revenue that comes in from that. It's the same effect happened with Stranger Things and the Kate Bush song, the Running Up the Mountain or Running Up the Hill song. That girl's career, she was a big pop star in the 80s, and her career kind of like went stagnant, and it went into like what I call a legacy status. You know, they're still famous, but they're not, you know, in the limelight. Stranger Things uses that song, she rakes in millions. She became like the #1 streamed song. And then Metallica did it. They did it with Metallica when they used Master of Puppets. Like Metallica went to the stratosphere again and sold out shows and all that stuff, and basically generated a whole
Metallica is popular again. Well, they were always popular, but then like they really just gained like an even huger audience. So
these companies need to, I feel like with the age of technology and content creation, I feel like they need to like change up the system, because the system is catered for a much older system.
Yeah. Basically, it's just a bunch of Zoomers who are just so overprotective of their property they don't realize that they're shooting themselves in the foot by just being old and cranky.
Well, it's because the old model like worked, you know, the radio play and paying for the radio plays, and like the, you know, the market for like when you shop in a grocery store, the songs that play over the PA when you're shopping for groceries and stuff, that market, it generated so much revenue for so long that these guys are like, well, that's our revenue maker. Why would we accept this new route, right? And when the reality is like, you know, it's a bunch of old dudes that are believing in a model that doesn't, it's just outdated.
Well, when you look back at like the like the early 90s, or like a lot of this like underground like metal or even punk shows where it's like, hey, these guys are really cool. Here, I have a bunch of like CDs of their music. Check it out. Yeah. And even if you're kind of like distributing their music for free, you're still getting word out there.
Do you think it's a genre thing?
Yes, to an extent, because like the punk ethos is very much like DIY. A true punk ethos is very much DIY, you know.
Yeah.
Sell merch, get people to see shows, and then, you know, that's how revenue gets generated. Because no one makes money off of Spotify anymore. Unless you're like in the top, you know, 100 artists streamed on Spotify. No one's making money on Spotify. You know. I
know. You know, you get the Spotify Wrapped or whatever, and some artists will like put a video together and like have a special thank you. Did you see the one with Weird Al?
No.
He bashed Spotify like hardcore.
Yeah.
On his Spotify Wrapped
like,
video.
And like Weird Al kind of has a lot of insight into that whole thing you're talking about, Zenith, like copyrights and all that stuff, because that was basically his whole career was based off of parody. Yeah. But he personally had the respect for enough for every artist to go to every artist himself and ask for permission. And I think he said
that's incredible.
Yeah, he said the only one that turned him down was Prince. I think Prince turned him down. And
you can wear that as a badge of honor, to be honest.
Yeah, I mean, that's fucking Prince. Like, Prince is no slouch in the fucking... Like, Michael Jackson approved it. Like, you know, 3 times, I think.
Yeah, because there was Eat It. There's Eat It.
Yeah.
There was... I know a fair few of Weird Al.
Yeah, though Weird Al, he's probably on my bucket list of people to see now. I should probably go see Weird Al before he hits that retirement age. Like,
random fact, my parents have a friend, and his roommate in college was Weird Al.
Nice.
True fact.
That's
True
so
fact.
cool.
That's awesome.
I don't know if they're still connected in some way, shape, or form, but like that, yeah. He was.
I do really want to see the Weird Al movie, because apparently Daniel Radcliffe was brilliant in it.
Is it? I thought it was. Oh no, it wasn't. I thought it was Zac Efron that did it for some
reason.
But it was Daniel Radcliffe.
Daniel Radcliffe. One. Yeah.
Oh, that's crazy.
He did a good job.
I'm gonna watch it.
Yeah.
All right. How about some video games? So
Sure.
we've been holding off on
I don't
this
feel
one.
like it. I'm just kidding.
You don't feel like you want to go back to talking about Weird Al?
Sorry.
Dill, this is not an excuse. You put on the notes here, I haven't gamed in over a week, but you literally on the last pod said you had a part 2 list to go. So
yeah, you actually,
Holy shit.
Zen mentioned that on the previous podcast, if I remember correctly, because I remember listening to it like on my way home, and I was just like, wait, is this Zen mentioned my list? What?
So I do want to get into this because we held off on this on the last pod because we were waiting for our resident Pokemon expert to come back. But 2 individuals here have dived into this. Zenith has some opinions on it. I want to hear what everyone's opinions on it. Let's go ahead and let's talk about Palworld. That so popular game on Steam right now that takes very strong inspiration from another beloved franchise.
Yeah,
so
it did. And I think it has like, what was it? It sold over 10 million copies in a week, or near enough, something like that. Has over like 12 million players on Steam, 7 million on Xbox currently, and has got as well as taken the world by storm, and is currently I think it's like the second most played game on Steam currently ever of all time. PUBG is still like number 1, but like Palworld is like climbing up the ranks still for it.
I am checking that out now.
No, it's true. I'm
checking the updated numbers.
Still fact check it.
Yeah. No, I remember seeing that. I was just like, holy shit.
I don't think you're wrong. I'm just saying. I want to know specifics.
I'm going to get the Steam
it's
number right now. Well, the concurrent list I can get. I can't get the sales list, but I can get the concurrent list. It is currently top selling on the Steam homepage right now.
Damn.
I'm trying to get the concurrent players. How do you get that?
Should be in the information somewhere for the game, but I can't remember where.
But let's go ahead and continue while I dig that up. So, Palworld, it was played off, or it was advertised as basically Pokemon with guns. We talked about it on the pod. We showed the trailer. We were all like, okay, this is rad. We all want to jump into this whole thing.
Yeah.
Was that the consensus?
That was the consensus between us. Oh, yeah, that's right. You were not on the episode, right?
I had the consensus. I wanted to jump into it because I was just like, I want to know what this is. That's based on my consensus.
So that was the first episode of January. So we talked about Palworld. We showed the trailer on the pod here, and we were like, okay, this is wild. We got to get a look at this. There was Pokemon style characters, Pokemon influence characters, holding AR-15s. They were in a slave trader line producing resources. And
I will say it's not as extreme as that, but they do manual labor. That is a fact.
Yes. So it was basically advertised, or the consensus of the advertising was it's basically Pokemon with guns. The reality of the situation is it is not really a Pokemon game.
No. So the best way I can describe it, it's Pokemon meets Minecraft meets another game, but I can't think of the other game right now. Ark, yeah. It's Pokemon meets Minecraft meets Ark. That's the way I describe it.
I think it's Pokemon base management. Like, because really the only way to progress in the game is to progress your base. Otherwise, you're just going to be farming materials for hours and hours and hours.
Yeah, because you gain experience, like, the more stuff you do at your base, basically. Like, the more material that's made, the more you do, the more your pals, like, help out and everything like that, the more experience you get, and the quicker you level up, basically. From what I remember playing it. The pals do help you out as well when you are making stuff. So if you have like pals that are tailored to like certain things, they will help you regardless of how they feel and everything like that. Basically,
they won't help you if they feel distressed
or depressed.
Yeah, or depressed, and they get injured all the time, and so you have to make sure that they're kept up. But yeah, you
have to keep the health up, otherwise they'll start like building all those things. They can get poisoned, they can get injured, they can be taken down. If you have a pal on your team, they can be like taken down, but then you can put them in like the pal box, which heals them back up after like a certain amount of time, pretty much.
So you can't exactly kill pals; they just kind of faint, like in Pokemon, right?
Yes,
Yeah.
as far as I'm aware, because like you can, but you yourself can take on a pal. You don't have to use your pal to take on other pals. You yourself can fight the pals yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that someone using like dual pistols trying to shoot down some cuddly pals? I'm like, oh my god, what the fuck?
And
So there's no traditional Pokemon style like combat, right?
Not in the turn-based. Not in the turn-based way.
No.
Yeah, there's
like
no
a
turn-based combat.
free-for-all, pretty much. It's a free-for-all. They do have signature attacks, but they're like, you don't command them to use that attack. They use it on their own, pretty much. Is how it works.
Yeah, and it happens in real time, so like you have to be quick, otherwise you're dead.
Yeah, pretty much.
You can ride certain Pokemon and use their skills though.
Yeah, you do have to get a saddle though, I think, for the said Pokemon.
Correct.
So you have to craft a pass saddle for it.
You have to unlock that thing.
So I guess before we continue the conversation, we should probably use the terminology correct. Like we're calling them Pokemon, but I guess they're technically pals. Is that
they're pals? Yep.
Yeah,
they're pals.
Yeah, so because
they are French,
and the balls are spheres.
Yeah, spheres. Pal spheres.
Pal sphere.
Okay, yeah, because I do feel that's important because us saying the wrong thing could even, get us a strike or something saying it's Pokemon.
Hi Nintendo. Hi Game Freak. Hi Pokemon Company.
Yeah. So there are they're called pals. The friendly little fuzzy creatures are pals. They're called spheres that you capture them in. So it does not have the turn-based combat that a Pokemon traditional game would. I also have the numbers here for you. All-time peak of 7 days ago was 2.1 million concurrent players.
Yep, and that's basically second place.
And that's early access.
Yeah.
Too.
Yes.
That's early access numbers.
Mm-hmm.
Which is insane.
Yep.
You know what this tells me? That Nintendo is severely we already knew this, right? But it's like this is just more proof that they're just I'm having a really hard time reiterating what I'm trying to say here, but like
they're behind
Nintendo, they're behind the times. There's clearly potential that they're not taking advantage of.
Well, if you think, actually, I'll let Dill say this.
Yeah. So if you think about it, though, Nintendo are not the developers of Pokemon, are they? They're the publisher, technically.
Right.
Fair enough.
So Game Freak and Pokemon Company is who you want to talk to about laziness.
I guess that's who that's who I mean. Yeah.
Yeah, because you think about Nintendo's own studios, they're like, all right, so let's get with the times. We came up with Breath of the Wild, Tears of the Kingdom, Mario Odyssey. So they did change the formula for a lot of these games. Yeah. Whereas Nintendo, whereas Game Freak, they're like, well, let's just release the exact same thing with updated graphics, but still way, way, way beyond the times. I mean, look at the graphics of honestly, they just look at the graphics of Pokemon Arceus. It's just bad.
I mean, Arceus, I'd say, is the best one out of the Switch games so far, and even then, the graphics are not the best.
Yeah, systematically, system-wise, it seems to be the most genius out of Pokemon games to come out in the most recent memory.
Do people play Pokemon for graphics though?
No,
well,
not really.
Okay, so I want to let's address this whole thing here. So this game, I know Everis will try to not dwell on it as much as humanly possible here, but this game has come under a lot of fire from a community, Pokemon community, the Pokemon community, saying that this game is a blatant ripoff. A ripoff that takes liberties that I guess tarnishes the Pokemon ethos, or I don't know how to word this. The Pokemon,
the Pokemon Company dick riders.
Yes, the dick riders.
Basically.
The ball riders of the Pokemon Company. So, okay. So it takes this concept and it, I guess, tarnishes this Pokemon world, this legacy that Pokemon has created, I guess, for a lack of a better term, right?
They did that themselves.
Yes, but there's something. Okay, so I think there's something that we're gravely missing in terms of this whole thing. that Palworld. So let's compare. Okay, so one, Nintendo or Game Freak or the Pokemon Company, none of them own the rights to a game where you capture little fuzzy creatures with a device and then use those creatures for battle purposes. They have no copyright on any of that.
No, because they weren't the first ones to do that.
They weren't the first ones to do that.
I think it was what is it? Yokai. I think Dill might know this.
Is it Yokai Watch or whatever that is? No.
Yes.
I'm trying to remember what it's based on. What's it called? I think it was a Dragon Quest game of some kind, but can't remember.
Yeah, it's called Dragon Quest Warriors, and it came out for the Game Boy. And it actually came out before, but they actually weren't also the ones that did it. Yeah. It was coming at a time where monster capturing was coming to a head, and it was like the brand new shiny toy that a lot of games were getting into. So Nintendo does not own the rights for that.
Right.
But a lot of as I love Nintendo, but there's a lot of Nintendo fans that are like butthurt. It's like, oh no, it's tarnishes legacy of Pokemon and blah blah. It's like, well, you don't know enough about it because yes, it's got pals that are very similar to Pokemon, but it's not the same thing. It's got Arc, it's got all these different things, and not only that, it takes the general kind of concept of things like Pokemon, but revolutionizes it to make it more modern. The reason why Palworld got so much success is because people are literally starved from what Pokemon could be offering.
That's the point I was trying to make. Yeah, exactly.
They play it so safe, where they just blatantly refuse to innovate and probably spend the time developing something that people will be satisfied with. I think if anything, they just want to make a Pokemon game to all right, we need to drive up merch sales. We have all these cute cuddly Pokemon, yada yada yada. Who really cares about the actual production of it? People will buy it and eat it, whatever. But now that Palworld's around, we finally have a competition. Anyway,
and that's what I was going to get at. That's what I'm getting at here. That is the big elephant in the room that everyone is missing in these conversations. Okay, so the first thing, let's be real. Does Palworld actually infringe on what Nintendo does?
Nope,
no, it's its own thing.
Yeah.
It's clearly its own thing.
That's why Pokemon is investigating it, not actually suing.
Right.
No,
because they'll lose in court.
They're not investigating it. And there's a reason why. Palworld has been in development for 3 to 4 years. Pokemon Company are not idiots. They will already have been looking into these kind of things. They have been keeping an eye on these things. If at any point, if it infringed on Pokemon Company, they would have stepped in during development and say, hey, we're not okay with this. You are taking our stuff and turning it into a game.
Yeah.
There has been no evidence of that at all. The statement the Pokemon Company put out was not them investigating the things. It was them telling them all, we're aware of the situation. Please shut the fuck up.
Yes,
because we know.
Oh, okay.
I had people coming into my stream who were like, well, what about the announcement Nintendo made? And it's like, that's literally an announcement to let people know that they are aware of what's going on. It's nothing to do with anything,
Basically.
If anything, the only thing that Nintendo would really have to kind of garner from is if there's any kind of maybe 1 or 2 Pokemon that might have similar model frames to from if a certain PAL if the developers of Palworld actually took assets from Pokemon and just slapped it on their own coat of paint, sure, I get it, but there's still not significant evidence of that happening. And honestly, the more I've learned in the last week or 2 of Palworld, I was like, you know what, Nintendo doesn't have a case here. But at the same time, if anything, what this should be a message is for them to not get complacent and realize there is someone else that has entered the ring, and they better be prepared.
Did they think that we wouldn't be contested? Did you think that they're like, no, there's no way that anybody could come up with a game better than
Digimon's gone, Monster Rancher's gone, all those games, they've been faded into obscurity. We are the only ones with in the ring. Well, now Palworld is here.
So in your professional opinion, Do you think that this has lit a fire under their ass?
No.
I hope it has, because I hope it has, but at the same time, they're a massive corporation that existed for a long period of time. So I feel like Pokemon Company might let them have their light for a while, and then when things die down, they'll come back up with some.
We don't know how big this is going to get. This is early release.
Okay,
this is early release.
Let's be real.
But here's a question. Then
I want to hear what Erik has to say.
Let's be real here. Okay, do I believe that they took some liberties with the original Pokemon design? Let's be real. You look at some of these characters they designed, and there are blatant, I don't want to say alleged. There's alleged inspiration, heavy inspiration behind some of these characters and where the designs are coming from. Is that me saying they copied them? No, but I don't have any proof whether they did or not. Also, there was also this complaint about AI being involved in that this is an AI made game. But that's BS. Just because you don't like something, don't throw the AI card out there. There is no proof that they used AI. Now just because there wasn't AI doesn't mean there were blatant humans sitting there tracing over, Squiggly Puff or whatever and making some changes.
Squiggly Puff.
Whatever. But to answer your question, does this mean Nintendo is going to up their game? No. By the fact that they made a statement saying that we are looking into this and we are looking into this product that this company has released and we are keeping a close watch and all eye on it, tells me that they intend to fully play the litigation game. When you cannot innovate or you have no incentive to innovate because you are so high up the market chain, you simply play the litigation card and you shut them down that way. Because
maybe for now, though. The thing is that you're thinking of this in short terms. What about the long-term game? You don't think it's going to last?
Oh, this Palworld thing?
Yeah.
No, this is one of those games that's going to fly high and ride high for 3 to 6 months after it reaches full, because they're going to have one more actually alpha release, right? The actual live, full release. That's going to come out. They're going to ride that wave for 3 to 6 months or whatever. And this game is going to fall into obscurity. And I will bet anything it's when the next Pokemon game comes. This is a thirst for something different that is a fresh, because we had that other one that just happened not too long ago. Tem. Yeah, same thing. That game had, a nice stride because it was something different from Pokemon.
They didn't have nearly the same.
Oh no, I will fully agree with that.
Though.
I will fully agree with that. Right?
It was still pretty much essentially Pokemon, because it still had turn-based. It was still had systems very similar to it. It wasn't anything to kind of keep you engaged for the long haul. Whereas Palworld, because Temtem is pretty much it's Pokemon. Let's be honest.
Right.
Whereas Palworld, it's Pokemon, but it's also Ark. It's also Minecraft. It's also it's multiplayer, right?
Where's this Minecraft thing coming from?
Building
because
bases and stuff.
You can take every single block in Minecraft and make it into something, whereas this is just prefabricated walls and roofs and
I don't know
stuff.
about Minecraft. It definitely takes a lot from Ark and those other survival based.
Yeah, it kind of reminds me of Valheim a little bit.
That too. I heard the Valheim.
I'll say Valheim.
So
yeah.
Let's go back to the Nintendo thing, right? I'm telling you, Nintendo has no reason to dump resources into making a better Pokemon game at this given time, because the games they make sell. It's much easier for them to be sick the lawyers on them. Let the lawyers figure out. Which, as a community, the community fans of these games, it's not it's not worth it for you to get involved and be they're copyright infringing, they're blah 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 blah. That just go go play the games, enjoy the games from either side, and let the lawyers figure that shit out.
I will actually debate that, because I'm pretty sure, because Nintendo has some pretty good lawyers, because they know that they probably can't do shit in the legal battle of this. I think, if anything, they know that they have to. The only thing they can do is try and come up with something to try and make sure that the next Pokemon game sells. Now, obviously, it's going to be for new systems. Like, we already know it is going to be an upgrade because, let's be honest, we're at the very end of the Switch life cycle here. But whereas, like for Pokemon, I think the onus is on them to try and deliver a product to try and make people forget about Palworld. And just playing it safe is not going to cut that. So I know, like you say, they're not going to pump resources. They're going to be very foolish if they did that. Whether they learn anything from this incident, they should at least know that they are not the only ones that are like within a league of their own anymore, and they have to respect that. But will they actually put in more effort? We shall see. But I know for a fact that it will be at the back of their minds during the development cycle. So we should see what happens.
I don't see Palworld being like a one and done. I see Palworld being like, we're going to release this new zone update. And then here's another whole plethora of new pals you can do.
If
like,
they keep
you can
expanding
extend it
Palworld
further beyond, and it could be even bigger than it already is. Like,
so
that's if they're smart.
Yeah. Then again, there's the other big elephant in the room. The Palworld is just a game. It is a video game, right? Developed by a company, and they have this video game that is their asset, right? Nintendo, or I don't know if it's Nintendo, the Pokemon company, has a media empire revolving around this property. They have TV shows, they have books, they have video games, they have music soundtrack, they have toys, they have a marketing machine behind this whole thing. So if they crank out a few video games that sell or that are kind of under par and don't necessarily sell as well as the previous ones but break even, it doesn't matter, because now they can still go sell toys, they can still go push this marketing machine, live events, fucking
they're only
Pokemon
going
on
to sell
Ice.
toys as long as there's an interest for it, though. If there's a decreased interest for it, then they're not going to sell as much of that merchandise.
Yes, and we're also forgetting, Pokemon is a product that is geared towards children. 6 to 10 years old, 6 to 12 years old.
You'd be surprised. There's a lot of adults that still buy a lot of Pokemon stuff. And I know a lot of adults that love their Pokemon. There's like, I'm playing Palworld. It's been the most fun I've had with the Pokemon game in ages. Like, wait a minute, that's not Pokemon. And they're like, that's my point exactly.
Right. So, and I think this is allowed. I think the uproar behind Palworld from that side of the fence is it's a loud minority. These are adults that grew up on Pokemon that are longing for an adult-oriented Pokemon that an adult can get into and enjoy and, lack of a better word, relate to in terms of their gaming preferences, right? But that is not what the Pokemon company is primarily in the market for. They're in the market to market towards a certain demographic of game player. I'm guessing it's probably between 10 to 15 years old, 20 years old tops. And that is their demographic. And that's who they want to market to. And you have, like I said, the cars, the whole thing. I'm thinking that is what their market is. And this Palworld is not a threat to it directly.
No, it's not going to threaten like their like I don't see Palworld releasing like Palworld plushies or like coming up with an anime series anytime soon. So like you do have a point. However, though, it would be very foolish of them to not collectively pull up their socks because of this, because this is their reality check. They need to know, they need to respect the fact that they are not that, like, in just a short amount of time, Palworld, who is their direct competition now, is already second most second most downloaded game or play?
Second most concurrently played game of like all time on Steam.
Yeah, and it's done that in a very short amount of time, so
there's clearly a demand.
And if they do not do that, then on like I get you were saying, Eric, but like it will be, I mean, it's not going to like spell the end for Pokemon, but
no, I don't think it's going to end. I don't think it's going to end Pokemon, but it'll push them.
That's not what I'm getting at.
Under the hierarchy. I think
here's where it'll become a problem for Nintendo and Game Freak and the Pokemon company. If this Palworld takes off, now this Palworld has not Palworld has not hit any of the other platforms yet, right? It has not hit Xbox. It has not hit PlayStation, correct?
It is on Xbox.
Okay. It's on Game Pass, correct? Has it hit PlayStation?
No.
Okay.
There's a reason why it's kind of like a weird thing, but like, yeah.
Okay, so let's say, for example, it hits PlayStation. It's sure as hell not going to hit the Switch.
I mean, the Switch can't run it. Have you seen the graphics?
Yeah, but even if they ported it down or whatever, just from a legality standpoint or conflict of interest alone, it's not going to hit Nintendo. It's not going to get on the eShop, right? So again, if the next Pokemon game comes out and does drastically lower numbers than the previous game did, and they're in the realm of where they're not breaking even or it's costing them more to produce than they're selling, then yes, Nintendo has a problem. We keep forgetting nowadays, in this modern world of video games and the video game industry, the companies that run these things, they just want to see the games break even or profit. That is what they are looking for. They don't care that Billy Joe, that's been playing Pokemon for 30 years or whatever, loves this franchise, yada, 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 yada. He's angry. They just want him to go buy the next game. If he doesn't buy the next game, okay, we have a problem. That's the thing. The community itself is the problem, where they'll sit and they'll complain about Pokemon all day, all night, but they'll go buy DLCs. This guy.
Who are you pointing to, Eric?
Yeah, I'm gonna say,
you're pointing to the wall.
You're pointing
at the wall.
Sorry,
Ninja Gaia?
The guy in the white cap.
So is there someone over there?
Group? Oh my god!
Is there someone over there, Eric, that we don't know
Other
about?
camera, Eric. Other camera.
The guy in the white cap. The guy in the white cap. So here's the thing: if Dill stops buying Pokemon games, that's a problem for Nintendo.
Dill has buying Pokemon games.
Dill has bought every iteration, but here's the thing. People that are Dill, and I'm not saying this to insult Dill. Dill has every right to purchase what he wants, right? But you can't go and complain about a product that is subpar, but keep buying the product. Because there is no incentive for Nintendo to fix their problems because people keep buying the product.
That is probably one thing I will agree with you there, Eric, is that like if people demand higher quality, they need to feel the heat. They need to feel that, like, oh my gosh, there's far less interest in our game, and there are far less sales, because they don't care if there's far less interest if people are still going out and buying all the merchandise anyway and
That's
buying
what I'm
the
getting
games.
at. Palworld is not a threat to the Pokemon company.
They should be
empire,
but at the same time, like if the consumers are still just buying it left, right, and center, then
I just wonder how many, like, how that number is going to be affected, because that number might go down.
We shall see.
So
it possibly, and I could be, like I said, I could be completely wrong about this scenario. I can be completely wrong, and Palworld becomes this amazing thing, and then everyone jumps on board and plays Palworld. It could be a whole thing. But from what I'm saying, does this the crux of the question is, does this entice Nintendo to make a better product? Fuck no, it doesn't. This is just a new kid on the block, and they're seeing if the new kid's going to hold legs.
What was the other Pokemon? Has there ever been a multiplayer Pokemon?
No.
Not a legal one.
Oh.
Yeah, that is a crazy
That's a
thing.
big factor too.
There's so many fun things Nintendo could do, but they just decide not to do it.
Yeah, because there are like ones out there, and they actually are pretty fun, and they also do include like every region as well.
Well, maybe they'll include that in the future, because they just recently put
until they're actually
multiplayer function in Wonder.
Oh, yeah. You're making my brain tingle here, because I have this concept for like a Pokemon game.
Super Mario Wonder had this really cool, neat feature where it's multiplayer but not at the same time, and maybe they'll include, maybe that's their, their understanding that multiplayer is a big factor in gaming now, and they'll incorporate more of that in other franchises as well.
Or they could take a leaf out of Palworld and do Pokemon Kart and do a Pokemon Mario Kart game.
I would buy a Pokemon Mario Kart game. I would finally play Pokemon.
I would too.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
That would be a riot.
So, I mean, like I said, the main thing is, if you want to play Palworld, go play Palworld. Now, there are some things about like their social media agreement and stuff that you're agreeing to in the EULA, about how they have every right to, your footage that you upload or stream, et cetera, et cetera. If you are a streamer or broadcaster, that is your decision on whether or not you want to stream the game or not. I have no say in what you do. You run your streaming business the way you see fit. That's a whole different crux of the issue. But as far as just playing this game and enjoying the game, if you want to play it, go play it. Don't worry about Nintendo. They still they're sitting on a pile of money, people. Nintendo is not crying tears for you because you play Palworld. It's not happening.
I don't think that they're crying tears.
They're not crying tears. Well, if they're crying tears, the money on the table just, wipes it all off for them.
I'm just wondering if there's a tiny little spark of a flame under their butthole. You know what I mean?
Possibly. Maybe.
We can hope for them, but you never know.
Maybe Game Freak needs to adjust their developers and all that kind of stuff, and really maybe they should put some young blood in there or start giving these young blood people ideas. That's what happened with Wonder, and Wonder ended up being one of the best Mario games ever made.
Exactly. And I actually have that game, but I've yet to start playing it. I need to one day.
So maybe they need to take some inspiration from their younger staff at Game Freak or whoever makes these games.
Well, I think Game Freak itself, the studio, is only like 200 to 300 developers, I think.
Yeah.
Which is, I feel like if Game Freak and Pokemon are serious about wanting to improve their games, they need to up their staff. They need to hire more. They need to hire new blood who knows how these kind of things. They could literally. Nintendo own Zelda. They own Mario. They own a bunch of these little divisions. They could literally talk to them and say, hey, how do we improve our game? And they could incorporate things from those game franchise into it.
They would only do that if they felt like they needed to.
I mean, look at Breath of the Wild. They're like, hey, we want to update our stack because we want to make sure this is a good game for our brand new system. So let's, they could even just borrow employees from other studios. So they borrowed the people that made Xenoblade.
Yeah. I don't know what it is about Pokemon. I know what it is about Pokemon. It's a money-making machine that they don't want to turn the screws on because it works. If it ain't broke, don't fix it. That's their problem with Pokemon. It's just this money-making machine that keeps on cranking. And there's no incentive to change that up. And also, Nintendo doesn't have full rights to Pokemon. It's the Pokemon company. No, it's Game Freak. They hold the cards, not Nintendo.
So it has to be Pokemon company that are willing to work with these other companies in Nintendo's branch to improve their games.
I'm sure Nintendo would love it if, the game branched out and they did something. Nintendo would probably love a fucking Pokemon MMO. It's insane to me how they haven't done this yet.
They just need to improve their online system and then boom.
Yeah,
done.
But that's Palworld, everybody. If you want to play it, go play it. Let the lawyers figure out all this copyright nonsense and stealing. Let the lawyers figure that shit out. It's not in any community members' play. Just go play games, people. Shut up and play games.
Shut up.
I love it. Shut up and play games.
Shut up and play games, okay?
Excuse me. I just got open the wallet.
That is the most appropriate phrase that summarizes the last 5 years of social media
video game
gaming.
Of the video game community.
Fuck off! Shut up! Fuck you! Go play games.
Shut up and play.
Shut up and play games.
You have an Xbox? Good. Go fucking turn the thing on and go play your games.
I love it.
Thank you. So yeah, that's Palworld. And then let me go there. All right, here we go. Dill, you've got some Final Fantasy VII Remake going on. I'm assuming you were preparing for Rebirth at the end of this month.
Yep, it comes out in less than 4 weeks now.
Yeah. So how's the remake going?
Remake is fantastic. I am once again simping over Tifa, and I'm currently encountered Arif again. So
it's the dark-haired ones, I swear.
It's the dark-haired ones that can fight me. I like a person who can challenge me.
You're a Tifa stan. You're a Tifa stan.
Yes.
Where does Aerith fit in the picture?
A lot of people run the Tifa fan base, so you're not alone.
Arif is okay.
Okay, here we go.
But
is that a personality problem?
It's Arrow's alright, but like, I don't know. I just like a partner that can kick my ass. I don't know what to say.
I swear to God, this goes back to what we talked about before. I will spare the details, but Dill's choice of video game characters that he loves all go back to tight leather wearing, high heeled wearing, stomp on me characters.
Ada Wong, yeah. Ada Wong.
Ada Wong. Now it's Tifa, and now what was the other one?
Tifa. Lady Mistress.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Here we go.
I'm trying to think of more here. Those are the top 3.
Let's just say Big Dill Gamer is staying on brand. It has not changed.
I mean, but yeah, Final Fantasy VII Remake is still a fantastic game, though, not gonna lie. And I can't wait.
I'm sorry, I just read the chat.
Is this why I go to Palworld? Well,
sorry.
Is it Palworld or Poundland in the UK?
Poundland.
It's a store franchise in the UK. Is it Pound?
Yeah, Palworld.
What is it? I don't know what that is.
It's a store in the. It's a store in the UK that originally branded where everything's a pound, but now it's changed where it's more than a pound.
So it's like the Dollar Tree.
The Dollar Store, yeah.
Basically,
yeah. Oh my God.
We have a very serious question for you in the chat here, Dill.
Hold on.
Okay, it wasn't a game. It was a cartoon from the noughties.
Hold on. Okay, what's this cartoon, Dill?
Well, I think everyone's watched it, right? Kim Possible.
Yes.
Really?
Oh,
Yeah.
I know. Okay, I see it. Okay.
Kim Possible was
that's
my first childhood crush.
Wait, was it Kim or was it what's her face?
Shigo.
Yes.
And then Shigo came on. I was like, ooh, okay.
Okay, I get it.
Yeah.
I get it.
Yeah.
You do know the voice of Kim Possible runs a podcast, right?
Yeah, I do know.
Okay.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah.
You should write
I
into
believe
it and
if I
let her
remember
know.
correctly, also the voice of Kim Possible was also played the sister to Shia LaBeouf in Even
Correct.
Stevens.
Correct.
Yeah.
Yeah. Wild times, huh? But so Kim Possible, okay. I'm not surprised by any of that, but I'm not even like, what the hell, Dill? I'm not even I could get it. I see it.
Yeah.
I get it.
And the funny thing is, a lot of people will probably think, "Oh, Dill watched Teen Titans as well." I only watched Teen Titans recently.
Okay, where does Laura Croft fall in this whole thing? In Dill's
Lara Croft?
Yeah, where does Laura Croft fall?
She doesn't have dark hair.
Well, I mean, I only played the new Lara Croft great games, so like she's hot, she's cool, and everything like
cool.
that. I really enjoyed the new trilogy.
She
But she's
doesn't
no
have
Tifa.
heeled boots. She doesn't have heeled boots.
Depends on what costume she has on.
Okay, Dill makes sure that she has the costume.
She's got like hiking boots 90% of the time or something. Combat boots.
Yeah.
Okay, Kim Possible.
No
ladies
thigh
and gentlemen.
highs.
There you go. So, Tifa, Erik is okay, but she's no Tifa. All right. I'm excited for Rebirth too.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to playing the intermission DLC as well for the first time because I haven't played that yet. So that's why I'm doing them that. But yeah, Yuffie. You
had to go find Yuffie in the original PlayStation game. You had to do a sequence of events that would unlock Yuffie.
Yeah. It's kind of weird because what they're doing is that they're taking the original game, they're extending it, and then they're splitting it into 3 parts. Basically, that's what they're doing.
Also, like I think we mentioned this on one of the other pods, if you are looking to play Final Fantasy VII Remake and Rebirth, do not go Google it. Do not go to Reddit. Do not do any of that. You will be heavily spoiled, and it will ruin it to the level of like...
I know. Trust me, I know.
It will ruin the experience from that point on if you get spoiled. So
I was spoiled by a friend who like didn't know that I didn't know it. So like, yeah.
Mm-hmm. So be careful out there. Play the games first, then go watch. Do not go to Reddit is just good advice in general. I would agree with that.
Just don't go on the internet at all. Just play the game. Play the game.
Just basically shut the fuck up and just play games.
Shut up and go play games.
Shut up and go play games.
Shut up and go play games. And then, of course, Dill being completely on brand again and not helping the problem. Dill's playing more Pokemon Storm Silver. I'm helping.
I mean, to be fair, I am playing a modified version of Soul Silver, but the community created themselves because they wanted to, like, make the game harder. And so there you go.
You might want to go look at the Nintendo Twitter. They've made a legal statement about you, Dill.
I will never understand.
We are well aware of Big Dill Gamer and his.
I mean,
I will never understand.
If they're aware of me, they're going to be aware of every other Pokemon content creator who are currently playing like other like Pokemon games that are also like modded versions of the original games.
I will never understand you and Zen both. Like your desire to just
Zen's in this now.
I mean, I like a challenge.
I get it. But there's so many other games out there that also provide a challenge.
I'm playing other games too.
Well,
that's not what this sheet says.
Yeah, Elden Ring.
I mean, I play a lot of.
Is that the pinnacle of hardness?
Soulsborne.
Because I disagree.
Yeah, Soulsborne. I mean, I could also play Jump King one of these days. I do want to play that.
I disagree. That Donkey Kong Country like railroad level is high level stress anxiety.
The thing is, I played enough of Donkey Kong Country that like a lot of times I can beat those like rail games, so those rail levels like on my first try.
You're not helping my argument here, Zenith.
Well, you see here, when you play those games as much as I have, like those levels become child's playing.
You sound so old when you say that, Zen.
Yes, I'm a Zoomer at heart, but I also feel like I'm one of those like Gen Z kind of like kids, where it's like, oh yeah, like do all these like little level skips. Ha 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 ha.
What is it? The save states.
I feel attacked right now.
Uh-oh.
I feel attacked right now. That would be me. Like I couldn't even finish Link to the Past because it was so freaking challenging for someone who didn't grow up on it.
Oh, Everis.
Oh, I know.
You have the save states too, which is part of the like. Wow, you really gave up.
Is Link to the Past on the online?
But you're also you're also talking to the person who played Witcher on Death March, so.
Well, yeah, different challenges.
I guess the game wasn't hard enough for you, so you had to play on the hardest difficulty. You need to give yourself a challenge. Woo!
Everyone has their own skill set, and like weird hitboxes is not my skill set.
Well, everyone's got their own skills. It's just like for me, it's I gotta torch myself via Zelda, torch myself via Mario, torch myself via Kirby, torch myself via Pokemon. I'm not very good at Pokemon, but
well, trust me, Zen, by the time that we're done with Ironmon, you will be
Ironmon.
Well, I better. Yeah, I'm gonna need to get myself some anal lube for that series.
Excuse me?
The pounding and the emotional torture.
What's gonna happen with our Ironmon streams is?
I don't want to know.
I don't want to know. Why do we need lube in an Ironmon stream?
All right,
stop. This is my this is my banner of stop.
Okay, do I have to get the button now?
All right, if I'm going, all right,
do not go down that route.
Let me actually be serious about this for one fucking minute here. So this challenge is going to be probably the most suffering that Dill and I are going to be putting ourselves to, where we're essentially going to be it's going to take us, like, people have done this challenge for months, and a lot of like actual skilled Pokemon content creators that play Pokemon for a living have in order to complete this challenge, some of them, it's taken them like half a year.
This is straight up masochism. This is straight up masochism.
Yeah. Have you met me?
Have you met me?
Yeah.
I mean, this is on brand for Dill. I'm not surprised by any of this with Dill. Dill likes getting stomped on here, okay? Zenith, on the other hand, I don't know what's going on in his head.
Zenith takes the challenge. Like, Zenith does hard shit all the time.
Yeah, I mean,
but so let's be real. Zenith does it for the almighty dollar.
He's doing a goddamn no paraglider, and
he does it for the sake of a dollar. He puts himself to shame on Twitch so people will pay.
Listen here. I've been doing this stuff for a very long time. Like back on YouTube, before I even had like a Twitch account, or even was able to like monitor like Twitch, before I was able to like make any kind of like monetary value from doing any kind of content, I was like, hey, I'm gonna do a 3 hearts challenge on Zelda Twilight Princess, and I am also playing on the hardest difficulty. And I suffered for the audience whether I made anything or whether I got views or not.
Did you get
always
it?
been up. Sorry, what?
Did you get it? Did you do
I
it?
beat the challenge. It took me. I had like 35 game overs, but it was, and it had actually had lots of rage, but I did it.
Did you
And I
ever
had fun.
see? Did you ever see the guy that did the 3-day 3-heart Majora's Mask run?
Yes.
That's insane.
Mm-hmm.
I don't have the patience for that.
Well, I got more masochism planned for the future.
Let's get on that.
Same.
Let's get on that note here. So you have some
Ah,
Ocarina
cool.
of Time, Majora's Mask combo randomizing
Oh,
torture here.
Eric, do you want to switch it to Zen's on the screen? Now?
I just realized that. Yes, thank you.
Did we finish with you, Dill? I feel like we
Yeah,
kind of like.
I mean, I've only got 3 games on my list, Joe. Yeah.
I'm just going
I
by
feel
with
like we
what
just
Dill
kind of
wrote.
blasted on your.
I mean, if you want to blast me, feel free to.
See, I'm told you he's on brand. He also put in his notes here. I haven't gamed it over a week.
Yeah. So I actually am like light on gaming.
He's in rehab right now. People, Dill is actually going through serious withdrawals.
I've
He
not
has gamed
streamed
in a
in
week.
like I've not streamed in 2 weeks.
Yeah, see.
I took
Yeah.
like a three month sabbatical, unintentional sabbatical.
what's a break? I lose my mind when I like take like 2 days off of streaming. Like what was it? The last time
Is
I
it-
did it.
Is it like a personal need thing, or is it because you don't know any different?
There's only one mode for me, and it's go 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 go. I don't know how to rest.
Zenith is
Like-
kind of like me. I'm always trying to do something, whether it's here or elsewhere or some other hobby or interest. I'm always trying to do something.
Yeah, like for the last month, on my days off, I was like, okay, I could just relax, just take it easy, don't do anything. But I'm like, hey, but I actually want to go outside, and then we go to the mall. I'd like get a bit of grocery shopping done, and I mean, like I went to go visit my buddy. I don't rest. I don't.
Well, to be
rest.
fair, you live in Canada. There ain't shit to do out in Canada right now.
Wow.
It's but
He has
cold. That's
poutine.
why. It's nothing to do
He has
with.
Tim Hortons.
It's nothing to do with not being able to find things to do. It's just cold and it's uncomfortable.
I've
Cold
been
and
going out
uncomfortable.
and getting. Wait, your logic is backwards because like even if it's cold, I'm still going out and doing
You know
things.
what? You're right. You're Canadian.
Yes.
Yeah.
They're used
You
to
have
it.
to understand,
Winter
Everis,
sports.
that's not in
Winter
our blood.
sports is your jam.
They wear
Hey,
shorts.
I really don't like the cold.
I know Canadians who don't like to go outside in the cold.
Yeah, I don't like to go outside in the cold, but I still do it anyway because like I'd much rather make some use out of myself on my day off rather than be stuck at home all day. Because like I have like some pretty paper thin walls, so that's why I try and be kind of like quiet. But like I hanging around here for a whole day isn't exactly there's just like better stuff that I want to do with my spare time. So yeah.
You're talking to the person who's going to Arizona for fun.
Yay.
Who wants to live in Arizona for fun?
Hey, I hear
Hey, if I
Arizona's
could
pretty
actually
hopping
move somewhere
now.
else for fun, I would.
Arizona's I think it's an under. I don't want to talk too much about this because I feel like I'm interrupting Zen's little talk here, but like Arizona's like an underrated state, severely underrated.
I think the weather
Um,
gives it a bad rap.
Well, the desert gives it a bad rep, but that's
Yeah.
like a small percent of the state. We're talking about like you go up north, there's the Grand Canyon, there's Flagstaff, which is actually they get snow every year and they have like a freaking ski resort. Like it's you got pine trees, you got rivers, you got all kinds of stuff. Like there's so much more to the state than just Phoenix, and everyone is like goes straight to Phoenix. Yes, it's the hub. Everyone lives there, whatever, but you can drive a couple hours and suddenly you're in a different climate. Like it's incredible.
Aren't you moving to Phoenix though?
Yes. Have to.
Yeah.
That's where school is.
Yeah.
But the thing is that you live in Phoenix, but then you go somewhere else to do your adventure. Does that make
Right.
sense?
Yeah,
Because
that
it
makes perfect
exists.
sense. Don't worry, I choose to live in a place where just homeless line the streets. So there you go.
And I have no choice.
Anyway, go ahead.
Go, Zenith. Go.
Zen.
Go with your game.
Okay, so I'm playing. So like I've I've done many randomizers for Ocarina of Time, and I've done many randomizers for Majora's Mask. But in the last year, there's been a brand new randomizer that's become super popular, and it's a randomizer that combines them both. So basically, imagine Ocarina of Time. You're playing it, but you get the Zora mask that allows you to transform into Majora's Mask, or the Fierce Deity mask. So what's really cool is if you can find games for each other in either game, and you also get to do you remember playing Ocarina of Time, right, Erik?
Yeah.
And Dill's played Ocarina of Time as well, right? Okay, never mind. So there's a place called the Happy Mask Sales Shop, and if you go there, it will actually take you straight to Majora's Mask. So you actually get to go between both of the games. And then there's like settings where like dungeons are shuffled. Like you go to like say enter Forest Temple, it'll take you to like Stone Tower, Majora's Mask.
Nice.
So
I still don't understand how it works though, but it's probably because I don't know much about the games themselves.
So what is it that you don't understand?
Because
I'm more than happy to declare.
Is it basically like a map randomizer where
how
the
you can have
locations
two games, and I mean they were like made what, like a year or two after each other.
That's why they're able to do it.
And they're on the same.
They found
engine.
a way to combine both the games into one single file that could take you between both games.
It's the same areas though, isn't it? Or is it different areas?
Well, they're two entirely different games. They're actually like the second game does not take place in Hyrule. It takes place in a place called Termina.
Yeah, Termina.
See, that's why I didn't know, because I don't know enough about the base game.
To answer
I always
your question,
assumed that there was both.
Yeah, to answer your question, it is very seamless though, because they were built on the same engine. They were built a year apart. A lot of the same like character models and resources were reused, so it works pretty seamlessly that when they put them together.
Yeah, just like Majora's Mask, it visually requires like when you bought Majora's Mask, it actually comes with like a little extension that you would put inside your Nintendo 64 in order to run the game, because it does have a higher bit rate.
In this randomizer, it kind of teleports you to other areas.
Well, certain entrances, like if you're trying to access a dungeon, it will take you to a random dungeon between the two games. It's weird, but it's fun because I get it. There's something cool about it's like, all right, we just started the game, we're going to go to the Deku Tree, and then it randomly takes you to like the final dungeon of the game, and you're grossly underprepared, but you need to go in there to get some items that you need in order to progress through the randomizer.
Interesting.
So, yeah. And pretty much like all items that you, because like in a Zelda, like you should know in like Link to the Past, there's that one like dungeon item you would get like every single dungeon, right?
Mm-hmm.
Evers?
Yes.
So
I'm listening.
Yeah, like those items you get in a dungeon are now shuffled anywhere in the games.
That's hard.
Okay.
Well, technically, yes. But
right? I mean, it's a randomizer anyway, right? So it's like everything's going to be everywhere anyway.
Yeah. But at the same time, though.
Like you can't progress through the whole dungeon. It's like you go through a part of it, right? And then you go to a different part of it, so on and so forth.
I generally try and not go into dungeons unless if I know for a fact that like it's a dungeon that I know I can complete. Because there's a lot of times I go into it's like, okay, I'm missing the hammer, so I could do some of the stuff, but I think I'm going to leave and see if I can come back with the items that I need before I tackle this dungeon.
Interesting.
It's so like, for example, I think what makes the randomizers difficult, if you are not a seasoned person for those games, like for example, Zelda, you kind of have to know what tools you need to get through which dungeons. So like, for example, A Link to the Past, you cannot get through the ice dungeon without the fire rod.
Yeah,
right,
I was actually doing a Link to the Past randomizer yesterday, and I could not do... Actually, I was able to do the ice dungeon, but only because I have Bombos.
Right.
Which is a fire spell.
It's a logical randomizer, right?
Yeah.
So Prom asked the question, does this randomizer prevent hard locks by not spawning necessary items? So the default setting for randomizer is all items will spawn in a place where in a location that where it's guaranteed, where as long as you fully explore the game, you will have all the items you need at the very end to beat the game.
So it's semi-logical.
No, it's logical.
Oh, it's logical. Okay.
Yeah. However, though, I like to do no logics. And very next time I dive into an Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask combo randomizer will be what's called the no logic, which is you have no idea if the items are spawned in locations where you actually have to use glitches and kind of break the game in order to find the items, in hoping that there's a slim chance that you can beat it. But there's sometimes where, say, there's an NPC is like, hey, if you come here as a Goron, I will give you this item. But in a no logic, sometimes it'd be like, hey, I will give you the Goron mask. It allows you to transform into a Goron if you come up to me as a Goron. And you're like, wait a minute. Then that means it's not possible.
It's not possible.
And then that's how you know that, hey, this game might not be beatable.
How many times do you beat a no logic versus not beat one?
I pretty much have a 25% chance rate, success rate.
Oh my god.
Yeah,
but that's only because in Majora's Mask, I pretty much know like a lot of the major glitches. Like I can fly through the air. I know cheats where I can warp anywhere I want in the game. And I can break the game. Like I've what was it? I'm learning tricks and glitches during streams where okay, I'm trying to basically get this bomb to push me through the wall so I can pop right out on this side of the hallway that I'm not supposed to access until later in the dungeon, and then it'll take me like half an hour. People are just like, wow, this is so boring. Then I do it, then everyone's like, woo, he did it.
I wonder if OOT or MM will ever be remade.
I hope so.
Someday.
Yeah.
They did, the first couple, they did Link's Awakening and
they were remade, but they were remade for the 3DS. That's the
the Switch, right?
Yeah. No, I keep telling people that I would love like an Ocarina of Time where like imagine like a brand new modern Zelda, but loosely based off Ocarina of Time, where you go between past and present and future, and it has like the same kind of like plot line, but it's not the same dungeons with the same world. It's completely redone and reimagined, but in a modern setting.
That would be the magic. That would be the perfect.
I would love it.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, I feel like that's the biggest barrier in not playing that game, is that like it's kind of like Banjo-Kazooie, where like it's kind of tough. It's kind of tough. Like you're used to it. You played it so much, you understand where exactly you need to be when you're on a platform or whatever, in order to stay on the platform and not fall off or whatever. I'm not used to that. And so it's frustrating to be like, oh, I'm walking down this thing. Oh, I fall off. Or, oh, I'm attacking this thing. Oh, it didn't hit, and it's like that. I think that's the biggest barrier not having played that game, is that it just needs a fresh.
Yeah. I think, but with, oh my gosh, I completely forgot what I was going to say.
Oh.
Well, the thing with like randomizers is there's some of the games that I played randomizers for are games that I am not 100% familiar with. Yeah. So
like Oracle?
Yeah, the Oracle Ages and Seasons games, like I actually can't remember all the items where you are supposed to get them, or what unlocks whenever you find like a certain like quest item. So I have a little handy tracker. So people on my streams, they see like what items I have below, but I have like another screen where it's like a world map, and you click on the world map and say, okay, so I now have this item. So if I bring this item to this person all the way over here, it will give me something. And then once I do it, if it doesn't give me anything, then great. Then I just check that off my little checklist. It disappears from the world map visual that I have, and then I move on until I check everything on the map. So it's a great way to learn the game.
sorry to interrupt, but Zen, did you just go suddenly quite dark there for a second?
Yeah, that's because like the room is finally starting to. The sun's no longer like blaring through my room.
Right. Okay. I was going to say that because I just looked at him and like, why is
He's
Zen
getting
much
brooding.
darker?
He's getting brooding,
Yeah.
guys.
He's probably is this Majora's Mass Effect or something like that? Does it get darker?
The moon's
Yeah.
coming.
I'm about to unveil my very, very dark, tragic childhood.
Is Majora's Mask the one with the moon that's coming in and crashing down in 3 days?
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, that's
Yes.
another thing about the Ocarina of Time Majora's Mask combo randomizer is you're not supposed to do the Majora's Mask parts until you find the Ocarina of Time and the Song of Time, because otherwise there's nothing you could do to prevent the apocalypse.
Right. You can't
So-
prevent the apocalypse. It's
So there's a
But-
time limit as well, basically.
Yeah, so that's why when you're doing a low logic, you're like, well, I don't even know if I'm going to find it, because otherwise, if I don't do everything within 3 days, I'm fucked and I lose all the progress I've did for Majora's Mask on this part of the randomizer. And it is devastating.
Damn.
So to make matters worse,
Go for it.
sorry, Eric.
No, go ahead. Sorry, I already lost the thought. Go ahead.
To make matters worse, the no logic that I plan on doing is called max sanity. So max sanity is where I've enabled every single setting. So you know how when you open up a chest in Zelda, that is called one check, meaning it is one possible item that you possibly checked. But in this max setting, there are over 3,500 checks.
Wow. That's a lot.
Because it has pot sanity,
Oh,
not like
no.
marijuana sanity. So every single pot in the game is randomized. There is grass sanity, not marijuana. Okay, let's just put that out there.
Is
So
Link
every
smoking
single-
something we don't know about?
Every single blade of grass could possibly hide a good item in the game. There
You gotta
is
let me guess, you gotta smoke it all to find it.
Yeah. I like it.
You're just
Enemy-
rolling. You're just rolling with it, aren't you?
Yeah.
There are enemy and boss souls, meaning enemies and bosses will not spawn unless you find their soul, meaning you can't beat the dungeon unless you find their soul. You have to find the ocarina notes for your ocarina, meaning you can't play certain songs until you find the notes for them. Key sanity, there's just everything.
I respect what you do, but I will never understand it.
I know. I don't know. I kind of want to play Ocarina of Time and Mary Jane's Mask.
Mary Jane's Mask.
Let's get it. Let's light it up. Well, good luck with that, Zenith. Good luck, sir. Godspeed.
Thank you.
May the force be with you.
And this is why you have no time for other video games.
Yep.
This is why he has no time for his friends.
People came and expected Zelda. I gotta give one of them one.
It doesn't mean you can't mix up the bag.
I love it when we go
Yeah.
I love it when
technically-
Nuzlocke.
Technically, he is mixing it up because we're doing a Kaiser Waimon very soon. That's mixing it
Yeah,
up.
I'm gonna be stomping on my nuts in a different type of fashion.
he's
Everis.
stepping
And
on the
I'm
right. He's
joining
stomping
him.
on the right one this time. He's stomping on the right nut, not the left.
Yeah, and then the Kirby
Sam,
hardcore
if you have the
Nuzlocke.
ability to step on your own damn nuts, then I would be
do it.
impressed.
I set my balls on fire for your entertainment. You're welcome.
And ladies and
It's like
gentlemen,
you-
there it is. Morgan, can
It's a
you clip that
flamethrower.
for me?
It's like you take
The
pleasure.
balls of fire.
It's like you take pleasure. You say it's like it's a bad thing, but I don't. I think. you
Ladies and
enjoy
gentlemen,
it.
we have
Yes,
it here
I'm just
live
like,
on Good People. We have
nuts.
it live on Good People, episode 34. Zenith has agreed to light his nuts on fire for entertainment purposes.
Yeah.
He has committed.
The balls. The balls are flaming.
Now we got to figure out. Well, obviously, we're gonna have some conversation about this because we got to figure out how to not get banned and stream this live. So we got to
Kick.
see how we're gonna do
Easy.
this.
Put it on Kick. They don't care.
Put it on Kick. That's a good idea. We'll
Yeah,
we'll
don't
launch
care
the
there.
Good People channel on Kick with that. Literally see him lighting his balls on fire.
Nah, let's not put it on Kick. Let's put it on our new platform called Keck. We'll
Oh,
call
yeah,
it Keck
good.
W.
Keck.
These are not the spicy nuts I asked for.
That's a spicy meatball.
Well, I hope that goes well for you, Zenith.
It won't. But anyways, we continue.
Yeah.
So
Proceed.
I went ahead. Continue like it's nothing, right? Just continue. Don't mind me. I did the
You've
Silent
just
Hill.
died. Would you like to continue?
Would you like to continue? Yeah.
Would you kindly
died.
continue?
Zenith's gonna light his nuts on fire, and someone's gonna Photoshop the "You died" from Dark Souls over the cover of it, the front of it.
And that is the title there.
Yeah, you'll be like the dark. You'll be my nuts on fire. You'll have the "You died," and then also have that like follow meme where it just said everyone like that.
The Fallout meme.
Who's at? Oh, because I did the Bioshock thing. Sorry, Chibi.
All right.
Sorry.
I played the last night. I played the Silent Hill short message. I don't know if it's considered a game or it's a demo, or I don't know what they are calling this.
What even is it? I don't even know.
So this was announced over on the PlayStation. What do they call them? State of Plays, I think it is.
Yeah.
The name of his clip is okay. Anyway, so it's called Silent Hill Short Message. I'm gonna call it a playable demo. I don't know if they're necessarily calling it a game or not, but it takes place I'm guessing in the Silent Hill universe. He plays this character that is recovering from very traumatic life experiences, and you're having to kind of like navigate through this mental play with your mind when you play this game. It's very, very well done. I liked it a lot. It's very, very creepy. It's very, very eerie.
Are you a spooky games guy?
What's up?
Are you a spooky games guy?
Yeah, I like spooky games. I did the beginning of Resident Evil Village with the lights off and everything and my headphones on.
Was it as bad as everyone says it is?
I'm not gonna lie, it was pretty disturbing. Like, it was very like had me on edge with the lights out, because you're like, if you remember the beginning of Resident Evil Village, you're going through like this dark, like snowy forest, if I remember right.
Yeah.
And it's very like uncomfortable. Like, if I was doing this in real life, I'd be frightened. Someone recommended to me the Mortuary Assistant. I have not played that yet. I will add it to the list. Thank you, Chibi.
That's like creepy in a gross way, though.
Oh yeah.
Well, just think about it. Mortuary, right?
Yeah, I did. I did do, like, I've done Outlast. I've done the Resident Evils. I've done. I haven't done much Silent Hill though, but I did the, what is it, Layers of Fear. I did the other one that was popular in that realm. Oh, what's the one where the
Amnesia?
The girl like chased you?
Which game?
Oh god,
yeah,
it was like a doll or something that chased you throughout the house. Someone Wants to Play, I think is what it's. Someone Wants to Play.
Emily Wants to Play.
Emily, thank you. The Emily Wants to Play. I did that one. I did
the one where you're the
Nights
baby.
Yeah. I did the Five Nights at Freddy thing. That whole thing. I even played the one you recommended.
Oh, you did?
The Darkwood.
Like
yeah, very cool. Very, very cool.
Yeah,
game.
I thought I really liked it. For someone who doesn't like, I do not like scary games. I actually really liked it, and I want to go back and play.
I do enjoy them. Oh, I also did Evil Within. I've done that one.
Poppy's Playtime.
That one, I've been seeing that one trending recently because of the new
Poppy's.
Chapter. Yeah.
Poppy Playtime is one that you absolutely need to play.
Okay. It's free.
They're technically not even done with it. Yeah, I saw that the third chapter just came out. It's really well made.
What was the other
Freaky
one?
as shit.
Mortuary Assistant.
I would love it if you stream this game, Eric, because I've seen so many people play this game that I'm like invested now, and I want to see more people play it.
Poppy or the Mortuary Assistant?
Poppy Playtime.
Okay, I will put that on the.
I'm invested.
I will put that in the backlog.
I would love it if you freaking stream this game.
I'm adding this to the wish list here.
I know you're not streaming, but like you've talked about like going back to it.
Oh, we've already committed.
Have you?
I'll chime in at the end when we go through the administrative stuff at the end of the
Sounds good. Sounds
pod.
good.
But yeah, so Silent Hill, the short message, very well done. It is very, very in the realm of PT. If we all remember the Silent Hill PT demo that came with the PlayStation 4 era, and then the Kojima situation happened and they removed it from the PlayStation Store. It's very, very much in that realm. I won't go into too many details because this was announced Wednesday. It is free to download. You can go and download it for free on PlayStation and play it. I believe it's PS5 only, but don't quote me. And it touches on a lot of modern issues that you play as a teenager. I should put that out there. You play as a teenager. It tackles a lot of issues that modern teenagers go through in this day and age with social media and bullying and all that stuff. Trigger warnings, bullying. There are talks of suicides. There's talk of abuse, very mentally, disturbing stuff. And they do give you it's to the level of the stuff you do in this game. It is to the level where they will give you the warning thing. Like if you are experiencing any signs of depression or thoughts of suicide, etc., please contact, and they give you a phone number and all that kind of stuff. It is that level of what they are talking about in this demo.
Damn.
It's very, very intense. It's very, very deep. It's uncomfortable if you are an individual that's, sensitive to that stuff. So be forewarned if you go to tackle this. They warn you loud and clear too when you start the game. They warn you loud and clear. So be forewarned. But it's very, very well done. It is very Silent Hill. It plays with your mind. It's creepy. It's eerie. It's very thought provoking, and it keeps you guessing. And it's very, very well done. It's hard to go really deep into it because it just came out, so a lot of people are probably barely jumping on it. But that was my playthrough this week. It's about 2 hours in length, so if you got some time, it's perfect to kind of knock out in an evening.
So you've played the other Silent Hills then? Like this is a familiar franchise.
I think I did one of them a long time ago. That was not a series I got really deep into. I was more of a Resident Evil person.
Okay.
But I hear Silent Hill is great, and I do intend to jump on that Silent Hill 2 remake, which we'll talk about after the break here, because they did show some footage of that. We're going to talk about the PlayStation State of Play in a few moments here, but that's all I touched this week. I did not do much gaming. I'm very much in the realm of Dill. We're still working through Baldur's Gate 3. We're doing a solo Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. What a great game. It's a lot of fun.
Has anyone else played it?
I have not even touched it since the last time we streamed together.
There's so much stuff we're catching up on. It's that catch-up time right now.
It is, yeah. There's not much that's been announced so far this year, so I'm just trying to play what I want to play and then catch up to when what stuff comes out. Basically, that's basically what I'm doing.
Aside from Final Fantasy, I don't even know what comes out in the next coming months.
Hades 2 is speculated to come out this year. I'm interested in that because I really enjoyed the first game. It makes you want to go back to the first game, honestly, and try and get the trending to the game because although I did beat the main story, there is a true ending as well to it that you can unlock too, which is pretty cool.
I'm just out here just be like, Paper Mario 1,000 Year Door remake. I want it.
I did do so. I forgot to know. I did do some Super Mario RPG. I did some more of that.
I bought that for Josh for Christmas, and he still hasn't played it.
Oh, what the hell?
Super Mario RPG remake.
Uh-oh.
He's in trouble.
He's playing he's playing the Pandora game, the Ubisoft Avatar game.
Oh, yeah.
He's really enjoying that right now. But I mean, he's the guy. He plays really long. He's like me. He plays really long, story-based single-player games.
Gets through 12 a year, and that's it.
Yeah,
if we're lucky.
Exactly.
Yeah.
He did pretty good last year, but now I'm like, play the game I bought you.
Yeah.
He's part of the Blue Man group right now.
He played the original, so it's not like a new game for him. So I can see why he's put it on the back.
Yeah, that's kind of why I haven't finished Mario RPG either, because I'm about 66% of the way done the game.
I should play it because I've never played it before.
Oh, it runs so good on the Switch. It's so good on the Switch.
Yeah, I think that's what I'll do after I play Zelda, which is what I've been doing.
Yeah.
Which one? Tears of the Kingdom?
I'm not gonna talk about it much because I feel like we've already talked enough about Zelda, but I made it my goal to complete every shrine and every light route, so that's kind of
yay.
Yeah, that's my goal. But I think Super Mario RPG would be a fun as hell thing.
That's so much fun. Such a good game. Are you gonna do Final Fantasy VII Rebirth?
I need to do the first one, and I still need to play Final Fantasy 16 and finish that as well. So
I was sitting here telling
It's
myself
hard. I'm going to school now.
No.
Yep.
Sounds like you need a Steam Deck.
Yeah.
Sounds like you need a Steam Deck for school.
You need to, go to that deck and, you need to like Steam it and then paint your deck.
I have a class where at the beginning they're like, by the way, guys, I don't want this to be a challenging class for you. And so immediately my brain's like, I'm done. I'm gonna put minimal effort into this. Like,
wow.
And then you need to wax your deck.
Why would you say that in the syllabus? Be like, hey guys, this is not supposed to be a hard class. This is just to increase your breadth of the field.
I think they're required to have a syllabus, so that's probably their syllabus. Like, I don't want this to be hard.
Yeah, it's like history of medicine or whatever. It's like,
that sounds pretty fucking important.
It is and it isn't. It's not like I'm not going to go into detail about it. It is and it isn't. It is important because it's important to know where everything came from and how things diverged and blah blah blah. But at the same time, it's like, it's like, I don't know. It's like history is weird. It's important, but at the same time, it's like it's not as important as other things are. Does that make sense? So
I hear you. But
I've mentally clocked out. Like I'm processing the information, but I'm not like giving it serious thought. Does that make sense?
No, I hear you. You're doing what you need to do to get it done.
I don't want people to think I'm ignorant. I don't want people to think I'm ignorant about it.
You're doing what you're doing.
It's interesting, and it's interesting. I've learned stuff, but at the same time, it's like the teacher like pretextually said, "This is not going to be your hard class." Yeah. And it's like
there's a lot of Dex waxing talk in the chat here.
Yeah, could have that steamy deck.
Clearly, what I'm talking about is not very interesting. I get it.
Sorry, we just got distracted by
because Eric mentioned, you need to get yourselves a Steam Deck. So I'm just thinking like of a deck for your for your house.
Yeah. It might be good for you though, Everis. Get your gaming on the go at school.
We do have a Steam Deck.
Actually,
Josh thought he lost. Well, he didn't know he couldn't find it, and then we've been like organizing and packing boxes and stuff. And he finally found it last night.
Oh, that makes sense. You guys are moving, so that totally makes sense. I thought he just like randomly lost it out in the world.
Also, you need to swap to Everis, by the way.
Well, are we going on break? I got
we're going on break.
All right, put the spotlight on Everis so that we can be like, all right, currently having to pee.
Yeah.
Peevrous.
Just
there's no pee emote. That's not gonna happen.
Just
Peevrous.
Hey, I suggested you having an emo that was
it's not gonna happen.
Like Ever's like holding her pee in while waiting outside like an outhouse.
just Peevrous.
I'm out.
All right, we're going on break. We're going on break. This is Good Friends, Good Games. We'll be back shortly. And it's good for... Oh, I hit the wrong one. I'm so sorry. There we go. It's Good Friends, Good Games. I told you I hit
featuring
the three.
Eric and random bar.
Oh my god, so
Eric.
This is the Eric show.
Eric, and Eric at a random bar.
I just got the Eric Andre flashback there for a second.
Eric, and Eric at a bar. What would you get? An erection?
Wow. Erection. Jesus Christ.
Stop.
Everis says stop.
Don't
Everis
worry.
put the stop
They
sign
say
up.
I'm getting some help.
I say stop in the sense that like don't take it any further than it needs to go.
I say
title the podcast, everyone.
I don't have an issue with the joke. I just have an issue with it going further than it needs to go.
I'm gonna get Everis a stop sign, like a little handheld stop sign, like and just ship it to her. So it's like we never get through a pod because Everis just stops everything. Stop.
It's weird because some things I'll just roll with it and like I'll take it too far. And then there's some things where I draw the line and I don't know. I'm not entirely sure where that line is drawn. Maybe it's just what I feel in the mood to talk about.
It depends on your mood a lot of days too.
Like some people have a line. Everis just has like a squiggly line.
It's definitely a big gray area. Big gray area.
It's like basically like the lie detector thing. It's literally just it's never like in a consistent plane, just random. So all right, I gotta order Everis a stop sign.
Mm,
We're gonna ship it over to her.
Ship it to my new address.
Yeah, we're gonna ship it to your new address. All right. So we had a Sony State of Play this week. I believe it was on. Dill said earlier it was on a Wednesday.
Wednesday, yeah, I remember.
Let's see here. So new games coming in 2024.
Yippee!
All right, Dill is going to be very, very excited. We will start here because Dill gets a brand new Sonic.
Yippee!
Sonic X Shadow Generations. I'm going to guess Dill's excited.
It has my boy Shadow. Of course I'm excited. I can't wait to see it.
Ooh, it's Morgan's husband.
It's what?
Morgan's husband.
Oh, yeah, we talked about this. Morgan's got a thing for...
Yeah.
Morgan's got a thing for edgy hedgehogs.
Her child crush.
Oh, that's cute.
Adorable.
Okay, so we got a Sonic game coming. It is 2D and 3D platforming action.
Yeah.
2 Sonics.
Yeah, it's basically they're taking Sonic Generations, they're updating it for new platforms, and they're adding an entirely new like Shadow quest line as well into it, pretty much. Like that's what it is. And from what I hear, Sonic Generation was pretty good. Like I haven't played it myself, but I heard
I actually played
excellent things. Yeah.
It's actually kind of up there as far as like Sonic games go because you get like a good mix of like a classic. Well, you actually play as both modern Sonic and classic Sonic. So you have your 2D action, and then you have the 3D version where he just goes Neom at like 500 miles per hour. So
Sonic Frontiers in a nutshell.
Yeah, so like I feel that they're probably just gonna like include like a whole bunch of like levels from either Sonic Heroes, Sonic Adventure 2 Battle, maybe even a couple of stages from Shadow the Hedgehog.
Oh yeah, they're featuring bosses from Shadow the Hedgehog, like the video game as well. If I remember correctly. Yeah.
Actually, the boss that you saw, at least one of them was like one of the final ones for Sonic Adventure 2 Battle. But,
oh my god, yeah, the Bio Lizard. I was like, oh.
Well, yeah.
Right, for those who don't know, by the way, Sonic Adventures 2 is my favorite Sonic game of all time.
My favorite is Sonic 2016.
2016?
Yeah, the one where you kiss the humans.
That's Sonic 06.
Kisses humans.
Sonic 06.
Sonic 06. Damn it, you ruined my joke, Bill. Fired.
You ruined your own joke by saying Sonic 2016. What the hell?
They all suck. Except Sonic 1. Sonic 1's badass.
How? And Sonic community. Get him!
Get him! We did a whole ranking of the Sonic games in the last pod. There was a Wii one that's pretty bad, apparently.
I can't remember. Is that the Black Knight one?
Maybe.
Or the Secret Rings?
Secret Rings is probably one of the worst ones, yes.
Okay, I'm going to rattle off a couple more here. So, the Sonic game is scheduled for fall of 2024. They announced Dragon's Dogma 2, which I think was already announced, but it's got a release date of March 22nd. Anyone excited about this?
I have not played the first one, but it does look very good. I will say that. That's all I've got.
About.
I hear a lot of good things about it, just haven't really been too interested myself.
Yeah.
We have the Rise of Ronin, which is from Team Ninja. They did Neo.
That one does intrigue me because it basically makes you think of Ghost of Tsushima meets Sekiro. And I'm like,
that's exactly what they're describing.
I'm super into that. Yeah.
That is also released on March 22nd as a console exclusive. There is a Metro Awakening VR game that is also scheduled for later this year. And here's another, I think this is an important one. This is Judas. This is by Ken Levine, who is basically the creator of BioShock. This is from his new studio. He left, who made BioShock again? What was that studio? Anyway,
I can't remember.
The former BioShock studio head Ken Levine had started Ghost Story Games, and this is their first release. And well, it looks like BioShock.
Yeah, but it looks like BioShock in space.
What was that?
My can nearly fell off the There's something in it. I was worried there's something in it and there's not, so it's fine.
All right, that's fine.
So yeah, Judas looks like BioShock. If you guys have not watched this trailer yet, it literally looks like BioShock.
Is it in the same like universe?
No, this is looks like a whole new different thing. It's just heavily inspired by BioShock. This is more, let's see here. It basically just says mysterious sci-fi adventure, which basically was BioShock.
BioShock.
So,
yeah. BioShock in space.
Yeah. Basically BioShock in space. Yeah. That's pretty much the consensus of it. It looks good. Doesn't look as flashy as BioShock did when it first came out, but I'm intrigued. No release date on that guy yet. And what else do we have here? Everis will like this. Dave the Diver is featuring Godzilla. They have Godzilla DLC coming for Dave the Diver.
Has anyone else played that? It's really good.
Here's the thing. I actually got that as a Christmas gift from one of my from someone that I know online, and I'm like, you bastard, you didn't have to do that. So I actually own the game.
You should play it. It's really fun.
I need to, honestly. I thank them like gratefully.
It's one of those where you can just like pick up and put it down. You don't have to like commit or anything.
I have a few hours into it and I loved it. It was very relaxing. It has that perfect mix of like Overcooked and leisure.
Yeah.
And I was like, this game is awesome. And I just kept going. And like the side missions and stuff. I talked about it on the last one, but like the side missions and all that stuff, very, very simple, like not too stressful. Overall, very chill game. A lot of fun. So they are getting Godzilla DLC. And that comes in May.
I guess I need to play more of the game to see how that would like play into the whole
I had no idea
underwater thing, you know? So
this was a big announcement. The game formerly known as Project Eve, it is one of the earliest announced PS5 projects. Stellar Blade gets a showing at PS State of Play.
Oh, that's the horny one, isn't it?
The what?
Well, in one of the trailers, there was literally an angle which definitely was catering to a certain audience to one of the characters. Let's put it like that.
And it looks like you noticed this angle.
Everyone noticed this angle.
There's a theme here.
It's basically like anime like shit stuff. So like I don't know.
It's anime.
It's anime.
Yeah,
it's anime. All right. This is a Korean developer. Shift Up visual. So let's see here. Provides features protagonist Eve battling monsters known as natives in an attempt to restore the fallen city of Zion. April 26th is the release date for that. It looks good. I've never heard of this game. It looks good, though.
I think it had an early access beta to certain individuals last month, something like that.
Yeah, it looks good. Here was another interesting one. It was a fairly short state of play, so we could probably rattle this off here. Until Dawn is getting a full-on remaster.
Yeah, like nearly 10 years after its release.
10 years after release.
It is going to be on PC and PlayStation 5, if I remember correctly.
Which was interesting because they took down the original version like not too long ago, like a couple of weeks back. Yeah. Now we know why.
Now I know why, yeah.
That feels kind of
annoying.
Yeah.
Yeah. I own I think I don't know if I own a physical copy of the game, but I do have it on my PlayStation library somewhere. I know that.
What's annoying about it?
Well, I think what Zen means is that like they've taken the original down deliberately so they can sell the new one. Whereas like with something oddly enough, with The Last of Us Part 2, they left the original game on and they've said, hey, if you want to upgrade to this version, the PS5 version, it's just an extra $10. Done deal. Yeah. That would make more sense in my personal opinion, but
that's really cool that they did that. Yeah. Whereas it's like, no, we're doing this because we want people to be like, hey, what the hell? This can't get this game anymore. And it's like, well, hey, it's back, but you have to buy it all over again and buy a new version. And
yeah, which is kind of scummy because it's basically trying to drum up more like, more profit by doing that. Pretty much, that's what they're doing.
I'd like to think that they learned their lesson from The Last of Us Part 1, and the $70 price tag didn't really sit as well as paying $10 to upgrade. So, but this time around, this is a fairly old game now. I mean, this game's what?
Nearly 10 years.
10 years old,
yeah.
I mean, I don't think it needs a full-on remaster. It could use some quality of life improvements, like 60 frames per second.
I think they have said that there's some changes made to it, and there's some new stuff they've added to it, and that's really it. Honestly.
Why are the games that don't need a remake getting a remake, and the games that really need a remake aren't getting a remake?
Because
it pisses me off.
Yeah. Well, I think because, again, this
Final
is a
Fantasy VII remake is amazing, incredible. I'm not talking about that. I'm talking about things that it's like
even
The Witcher didn't really need an updated graphics thing, but they did it anyway. They didn't need that. They did it.
I mean, hell, I've said this many times before. All these PlayStation games are getting a PC port or a remake. And they're leaving Bloodborne out for like a lot of reasons.
There's some weird licensing going on with that thing, but I will say, that is one of the problems with the gaming community nowadays. If it's not pulling 60 frames per second, and if it's not the highest fidelity in 4K or whatever, the game's basically a fucking dinosaur. That's how these people think. Yeah. They literally were complaining that Super Mario Wonder.
If that's a dinosaur, then what is fucking Ocarina of Time?
But see, that is a millennial.
Yeah,
that's 96.
I see. So it's like we're talking about like within the last 10 years. Those kind that range.
Anything from the PS4, I think the PS4, Xbox One generation up until now, everything should have been like 4K, 60 frames a second, highest fidelity humanly possible. And I think there's a very obnoxious focus on fidelity in games nowadays. This game doesn't look like this, or this game isn't worthy of it because it runs in 30 frames a second versus 60. It's like that kind of nonsense. And then these people see this and they're like, oh, well, they're remastering it, so it's probably worth it now because it is in 60, 4K. Like, who gives a shit?
Well, it cracked me up because someone was dissing on the Nintendo Switch and was like, why can't they put out why can't they make hardware that's to the times or whatever? It's like, I don't disagree. I think that the Nintendo hardware needs to put a better foot forward this upcoming console. But he was talking about like 4K, 60 FPS. And I was like, the PS5 only puts out 30 frames per second.
At 4K.
And
it's an upscaled 4K. It is not true 4K. You need a 4080 to run true 4K at 60 frames.
It just cracked me up because it's like, I don't know. It was just a funny argument.
I don't know. It's getting like loud and obnoxious, and it's getting kind of ridiculous. Like, I can understand a game like Ocarina of Time does deserve a remake. If any of those Zelda games that should be remade, it's that one, right? Like, up the fidelity and, get it to 30, 60 frames a second and really, show that game where it can shine. But like, Until Dawn was a 10-year-old game, which looked fucking great when it came out.
It still looks great now.
It still does.
Yeah, it looks fucking fantastic. But for some strange odd reason, we feel the need to remaster this and just, so we can see the fucking pimples on Rami Malek's face or whatever.
So we can see the eyes through the mask, because that's the thing apparently that everyone's noticing.
Yeah, so I don't know. It's getting weird, right? Like, people are so obsessed with fidelity. Like, people were complaining that Super Mario Wonder got into the Game of the Year talks and category, and Starfield didn't, because Mario just looks like Mario from 10 years ago, and Starfield is this boom of like fucking graphical greatness and all that stuff. And I'm like,
are people just trying to just like, is it the money thing? The same thing about like, it's something about like Disney. Same thing. It's like they're not coming out with any. I mean, they are, but they're doing this, like, they're in this phase where they're remaking all of the, original Disney films into live action now. And it's like, okay, great. It's like we didn't need this, you know.
We don't need it.
Another remaster that,
but
like,
you're putting it out anyway.
Another remaster that does not make sense is The Last of Us 2 remaster. It came out like 3-4 years ago.
2020.
Yeah,
And
2020.
when you do compare like side by side comparisons of like the original game and the remasters, like I don't see the difference.
That was literally the Office meme. Like, it was literally the Office meme. It's the same picture. Like,
Wait,
yes.
I'm sorry, which game were you talking about, Zen? I missed it.
The Last of Us Part 2.
Part 2.
Oh, yeah.
yeah, that was fine. It didn't need to get touched. You know, if it needs the 60 frame update, then I do believe frames per second makes a difference. 60 is an experience different, like at least substantially different from 30. You could feel it. Like, Spider-Man plays much better at 60 than it does 30. The web slinging and stuff really benefits from the 60 frames per second. But games like The Last of Us and stuff like that, where everything moves in a slow linear fashion, like you're walking, you're sneaking, and all those kind of things, it's fine at 30. It's literally fine. But I do agree with the 60 frame a second thing. I think it does improve the experience on a lot of games, but like, I don't need every single game to be a 4K masterpiece. Like, I think it's just, and the people that are going to complain about the Switch not being powerful enough to do this, that, this, and this are going to complain when they do make one powerful enough, and they're going to complain that it's $550. You know,
Yeah,
like, you can't win with these people.
I did throw the price tag card at him. I was like, it's only $300 at most.
$250. So, I think what's the Zen? Do you know the price of the Switch Lite? Like the
handheld's like $199 or something.
Yeah,
the handheld's not much.
If you want the full, I think the OLED is like $300.
Yeah,
something like that. And
yeah, it's about like $199 USD.
And parents are not going to spend $550 on a handheld that a kid can drop and bang around and throw and stuff like that. Like,
well, do you think they're going to do another handheld, or do you think they're going to go with the?
Oh, most definitely. The Switch was such a winning product combination that
they need to release. They need to release two different consoles. I think they need to release a handheld, and they need to release a stationary platform, because now the Switch is. Nintendo's opened up their doors to larger games. Like, they put Witcher 3 on the Switch. They put there's a whole handful of them. These like large ass like RPG games, but the Switch couldn't handle it.
Cloud versions.
Well,
yeah. But like, ask Zen. He tried playing Witcher 3 on the Switch, and he said it was a nightmare.
Yes, it was a disaster. It was constantly running at like 12 FPS. Like, the graphics were so muddy. I couldn't really see some of the times, and I'm just like, like I can understand the graphics aren't everything, but I'm better off just like playing this on an entirely different platform, because like I couldn't get into it.
I do think we have enough tools now with like NVIDIA, DLSS and the AMD FSR, which basically take a lower image and upscale it. Like, they take an image at a lower resolution and upscale it, and use AI wizardry, whatever the buzzwords are, to make it look nice and pretty on your 4K TV. We have those tools in place now, which allow these games to be developed at lower resolutions and then upscaled so performance can improve. The Witcher did not necessarily have that at development time when it was made, so it's one of those things that can probably be benefited from now. But like, the Switch was old hardware when it was released. Like, the Tegra X1 is like basically a cell phone chip from like, 2015, 2013, that era. So, but it's such a winning combo. It's price point, it's cheap, and then two, you can take it anywhere.
I don't disagree with you there. I'm just hoping that whatever. I'm just wondering if they can still maintain that portability while being able to handle these larger games in whatever future.
I think what would be the smarter move is the dock, more than just being a thing you plug in and go out an HDMI cable, that the dock actually be more console centric, and the dock has extra horsepower built into it. So when it is plugged in, it can, basically boost. Think of the dock like an external graphics card, basically an external GPU. If they can utilize that in some way and use a dock, and then have the dock actually push more gaming horsepower out of the dock.
I don't know enough about technology to know if that would. If that would be something that would...
External GPUs do exist. Like, you can plug a GPU into a housing and stuff and use a laptop, and that GPU will take over. I think Nintendo could utilize something like that. But again, it all comes down to price. Can we get parents to buy it at can we sell it at $250 at Christmas time for parents?
You could do like a we could do like a two option, right? Have the one that's handheld, and then have the other one with the update, the improved.
Or you buy
whatever.
the dock, like you want the performance dock with the external, GPU in it or whatever. Then you sell the dock separate for an extra $150. That would be smart, because there are people that want that thing.
We'll see. It'll be interesting.
But yeah, that is Until Dawn Remastered. We'll get down to the big ones here. There was more Silent Hill 2 footage released. Of course, they're re-releasing Silent Hill 2 or remastering it, buzzword. It's basically a reimagining. So it's not necessarily following the original Silent Hill 2. No,
it's been basically an entirely like remade thing, and it's been the worrying thing. It's being made by the Blooper team, which a lot of people in the horror community, from what I gather, are not very impressed with Blooper and their recent games. So like, that's the concern that a lot of people have with the remake right now.
What did they make? What did they make before? What did Blooper Team make before?
They did The Medium. They did Layers of Fear. Remember correctly, and a lot of people in the horror community criticize those games for like basically taking the mick out of mentally ill people, pretty much. That's God. Like kind of like that's like a lot. That's why like there's a channel that I follow who literally has a command in his like channel points for like Blooper Team sucks, like so people can just redeem that, because he's a horror game enthusiast. He's played all the Silent Hill games, he's played like all the Resident Evil games, but he is heavily critical on Blooper Team because of their past games being like stuff that like tackles mental illness situations, but then doesn't really have any resolution for them other than they're like they're kind of just, I don't know how to describe it. It's kind of like they don't tackle the problem, they just kind of like take the piss out of it, pretty much. And that's like what it is, pretty much. That's from what I gather. So that's, although it's cool to see Silent Hill 2 be remade in this way, I think a lot of people in the community are not going to be very happy with it, honestly, from what I gather.
We'll see. We'll see what happens. It could be the best game ever made. We won't know.
It could be.
And then we're going to look all foolish when it's
we'll see.
Talked ass on this game. All right. To close out this here, the big news, of course, they have out of this thing is we have Death Stranding 2. We have actual like footage of Death Stranding 2. It's called Death Stranding 2 on the beach. Norman Reedus is back. Kojima's back.
He's got a whole bunch of Monster Energy drinks.
Energy drinks. I don't know if they have that still. The remake took it out.
Oh, did it?
Yeah, they took it out of the director's cut.
Interesting.
Yeah.
This is interesting. There's a talking puppet. There's literally a talking puppet in this game.
A talking puppet that moves at like 10 FPS. I don't know why.
Who's the guy that does the voice of like the guy in The Last of Us and stuff, the super popular is it Troy Baker?
Troy Baker, yeah.
Troy Baker has a character in this. I might be wrong if I have the wrong person, but
yeah, he's in there.
He's like a punk rock villain that uses a guitar as a weapon, and he literally strums the guitar and electricity comes out of it.
Yeah, like a Joker kind of like guitarist.
The Joker plays guitar, and when he strums it, electricity comes out of the guitar. That is the villain.
The Joker having an emo phase.
Yeah, and then the talking puppet and the baby's back and all of this stuff. Did we all try Death Stranding at some point?
I've been meaning to. I do have it. I just haven't booted up and played it yet.
I got it in the free Epic
Same.
Games
Yeah.
pile.
I did too.
Stuff
Yeah.
I need to play, but is it? I mean, if we haven't played Death Stranding 2, I don't know how many people are excited, or Death Stranding 1. I don't know how many people are exciting for.
I was surprised he made Death Stranding 2, honestly, because I thought maybe he'd like move on to other things, but I guess it must have had enough popularity to call for a sequel. I don't know, because
I don't know. I think it's because Norman Reedus wanted to do it again. Like Kojima's like obsessed with movie stars now. Have you seen Kojima's like Twitter feed and stuff? It's just him taking pictures with celebrities. I don't even think these celebrities know who he is.
He's so obsessed with like Western culture.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, he's working on like I think 2 other games as well. Like in this direct, like they announced an espionage style game that they're working on with PlayStation, which. Come on, this is the guy who made Metal Gear Solid series.
And there you go. That was the last big announcement. Kojima is new action espionage game, Fizzant.
Yeah.
Did they actually show any footage of the game?
No, they just announced it.
This is just Metroid Prime 4. Why did they keep doing this to us?
It literally is.
Come on.
Like, and he's also making a game with Jordan Peele, isn't he? That was like shown at the Game Awards. Yeah.
That might be interesting. Apparently, Everis's vacuum turned on its own.
What?
Can't wait to hear the story on this one.
I think Kojima must have hacked her vacuum cleaner there. Just decided to like, yes, I am here. I am listening to the podcast.
Yeah. Her Roomba thinks that this part of the podcast sucks.
Her Roomba. Ouch. Ouch.
Hey, I made a pun, okay?
Wow.
I hear the pun. I see what you did there.
Roomba is a Death Stranding.
Mm-hmm. But yes, a new action game called Fizzant. Let's see here. That will transcend barriers between games and movies, Kojima said. In other words, Kojima is returning to the genre he started with to help create the original Metal Gear.
Yeah.
That sounds cool, but if it's like Death Stranding and it's got weird puppets and babies and all this stuff, I don't know. Zenith would like to say that the Roomba found out that this part of the podcast sucks.
Uh-huh.
See what he did there? No, you see what he did there?
Oh, ha ha ha! But
we were talking about how Kojima is doing a new espionage game called Fizzant.
I got it.
There you
go. There you go. Beautiful. Well done.
Nice. I don't know. There isn't a whole lot on this list that I'm personally interested in, so I'm just letting you guys.
There's not a whole lot. It's okay. It's okay.
I mean,
he was a rather mid show, to be entirely honest, and that's like the general feeling of it. I mean, he did get some announcements, but
might be kind of a slow year for Everis video games, to be honest.
It's going to be a slow year for video games in general after all the stuff that's happened. We won't touch on it again, but after all the stuff that happened employee-wise in the gaming industry, it's going to be a slow year for video games in general.
For sure.
However, though, it is the technical month where Nintendo releases its first Nintendo Direct of the year. So, we might be expecting one in the next week or two.
Possibly.
And usually the February Nintendo Directs are their biggest ones because they kind of like outlines what you can expect for this year.
Yeah.
And with everything being all done with because the reason why we're seeing all these remakes is because they're anything new that they are developing, except for like maybe the new Princess Peach game, like they're probably focused on their next hardcore.
Console,
so this upcoming Direct might be the one that finally introduces their new console because sorry, I had to burp there. Because I think some company late that the console is supposed to come out in November.
Oh yeah, I saw that.
Yeah, and they quickly reversed their statement. So,
which makes sense.
If there's a time to announce their console, it is this month.
I bet it's
When is
June.
the next Direct? When is the next Direct?
We don't know yet. But the track record for Nintendo is that they always release their first one of the year in February.
Yeah.
That's like their track record.
Like February 8th, February 13th, 14th, I think once. Yeah, roughly with around this time of year. The only month they didn't do it was in March, but that's because it got delayed because of the pandemic hit.
Yeah.
Yeah. Let me see here. There is no specific date for a Nintendo Direct.
Yeah.
I think we're going to get it set up for disappointment here. If they're going to do it, I think they do it in June. Oh, yeah, I think...
June? No. I mean, they'll have one in June, but like they need to do something at the beginning of the year because...
They need to, but will they?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Maybe they'll announce
they would be
that
really shooting
Palworld.
themselves in the foot if they don't do it because like now's the time to capitalize because like they don't have...
They could do a PlayStation and just say, "Hey, the console's coming out in 2 months." What? What? That?
You never know.
I mean, you never know. But what do you think this? What do you think this new Switch is going to cost? It's not going to be $300. It's going to be more.
It's going to be like maybe close to $400.
$399.
Yeah,
99.
I'm going to say that like $400.
Yeah,
it's
$99.
It's not going to be the cost of PlayStation 5 or whatever Xbox's new console is. I keep forgetting what the fucking name is.
Series
S.
Oh, that's so hard. I think what they're probably going to do is they're going to search for a price range that they're going to continue to make sure that it's affordable, but at the same time they'll like introduce like enough of a graphical upgrade from their previous system to warrant purchasing. So I'm definitely thinking the $399 or like how much does the PS5 go for these days?
PS5
$500, right?
Is it?
Unless I think they reduced the price down recently, but originally it was like $500.
$499.
What?
I think maybe
The Slim is $449.
Oh yeah,
I think it'll be $299.
$299?
I think the or $249. Sorry, $349.
I think $250 at least.
$350.
I think $349. $400 is too much.
I don't know. It depends on like what the system's gonna be like what the preference is for like
400
what they're
is
gonna use.
Well, $400 is too much because for an extra $100, you're getting a PS5.
Unless they do the thing like like what Everis says, where they do 2 different models, like one for a certain price, one for a higher price, for like more power.
Tree fitty.
That creates market confusion though upon sale time. Like, because remember, the people that buy, aside from the hardcore, like we're not talking about the hardcore gamer that knows this product inside out. We're talking about the grandma that's buying one for her grandson and stuff like that. Stuff like that creates market confusion. They don't know which one to buy, etc., etc. But I think 400 is too high because $100 more gets you a PlayStation, which offers a vast majority, like higher quality experience and fidelity. So 400 too much. I'm with Everis that it's 350. 350.
I said 350. I said sorry, 349, which is basally 350 because they don't think it's gonna be like 999.
I would be
I'm with you on there.
Incredibly impressed if it's $299. I'd be impressed.
I think that's too cheap.
Well,
we're gonna find out.
We shall see.
Either way, lukewarm reception to this Sony State of Play, huh? Nothing excites us.
Nah.
2 games. That's it.
Yeah, you could tell we really like playing old games. We're old gamers here.
Yeah. We're just trying to get through our backlogs, aren't we?
Yeah, don't worry. We're just gonna keep playing.
We all have too much of a backlog, I think.
We're just gonna keep playing Ocarina of Time. We're gonna keep playing Pokemon. We're gonna keep playing Witcher 3, and we're gonna keep playing. No,
I'm done on the Witcher 3 train. I'm done with that train.
You'll be back. You'll be back.
Bet, I'm
done with that train.
I feel like Everis will come back to it when a randomizer comes out for the Witcher 3, if there isn't already one.
No, now in The Witcher, I want to explore I want to really delve into like the book reading and the like the comic books and that kind of stuff. I loved it.
Yeah, was it good?
I loved it. Yeah,
awesome.
It was great. It's there's a theme,
Yeah.
Like taking stuff at not taking stuff at face value. You assume one thing and ends up being something completely different by the end. It's amazing. I love it.
That is cool. Well, I'm glad you enjoyed it.
I did. Thank you for that, Eric. It was a nice little treat.
Yeah.
I finished it in like an hour and a half.
Nice. Perfect, right? Just the perfect like amount. You didn't spend too much time reading. Just enough.
Exactly. I didn't waste my whole day.
Yeah. When's your Gwent playthrough?
Shut the fuck up.
Nice.
It's true. I do need someday when I'm 60.
When I'm 60, Jesus.
I told you the future of nursing homes is going to be video games.
True.
We're going to have like video game tourneys and stuff. The future of like retired communities, right?
Bunch of old people doing like, Just Dance.
Yeah.
Yes,
I'm going to be like
DDR 80, and shit.
I'm going to be like 80 years old at the retirement home and everyone's going to be like, Final Destination Fox only. And that's what it's going to be like.
Wow. On that note, that is the end of the episode. Let's see. I hope Nintendo wows us this month because Sony ain't doing it. All right. Some administrative stuff here. So the next pod, which would be
the 17th, right?
That depends. Is there a Wild Everis available on the 17th?
Yeah, the 2nd and 4th weeks are class.
Okay, cool. So
it's 17th.
Pod is tentative for the 17th. Other administrative stuff going on. I'm getting ready to do it. I'm going to start working on it this week. I'm going to go ahead and fire up the Eric Anthony channel. We're going to do a little show called Back to the Backlog. Basically thinking back to the future. Back to the Backlog is basically me tackling through my backlog. I will not start anything over. The whole concept is to just fire off what is left in my PlayStation, where I left off on that save, and we may have to figure out how to play the game over. We may give up on it.
Cool.
We don't know what we're going to do, but yeah, the goal is to go through the backlog. I'm putting a list together of my backlog so we can start working through it. And
you and me are on the same, like, that's our kind of our motif.
Yeah. That's what
I love it. I love it.
Yeah. It needs to get done. There's too many games. I own too many. That is going to be on my Eric Anthony channel, but I will upload the VODs to the Good People YouTube, so you'll be able to catch them there. Pod comes back the 17th. We are going to start scheduling out another Baldur's Gate 3 playthrough. That is something Zenith and the crew have to talk about. And then on top of that, we do have Final Fantasy Rebirth this month. I am planning to do a first glimpse of that with somebody on the channel here. Whoever wants to take part in it, we will record a first glimpse and we'll upload that for you guys. So that is what I have scheduled for the month here, and I'm working towards. Everis, welcome back. We missed you. Thank you for...
And Dill, welcome back. We missed you too. Don't ignore what this Eric guy says.
You're fired. Where's Hannah? I'm going to sign that paperwork. You know what? I want Morgan to... I'm going to have Morgan do the HR part of it. And never fire you.
It would be like her... It would be like her like payback. For you throwing her under the bus.
I mean, then again, I just messaged Morgan like a funny joke that I had, but I am not sharing it.
Why do you do this?
It's one of those.
Why do you both do this? I had a funny joke, but I'm not going to tell anybody about it.
Because Everett, they are dirty. They are both dirty.
I don't have an issue with them being dirty, but don't say that you said something dirty, but you're not going to tell anybody about it.
You do not want to hear what these two conjure up with each other.
I don't want to hear it, but just don't say that you did it in the first place. Because now everyone's like, well, we want to hear it now. And it's like...
Let's put it this way. Zenith was horny last week. He said some raunchy things that I was like, Zenith, stop.
I'm still working through the podcast from last week, so I'm going to actually keep listening on that one, honestly.
I literally cannot use my Baldur's Gate name, Eric the Destroyer, anymore because Zenith ruined it.
What are you destroying, Eric?
Eric the Pussy Slayer.
Yes, you're not allowed to say that. Pal's gonna get mad. She's gonna hear you, and she's gonna think that I'm doing something I'm not supposed to be doing in this game.
Are you?
Which I'm already on close watch with. Okay, I'm not allowed to touch the bears. I'm not allowed to do anything that's
she
odd
said that?
in this game.
She said
She
that?
she didn't say it, but she gave me the side eye.
Yeah, she's like, you're not allowed to play Baldur's Gate unless if I watch.
Oh my!
She gave me the side eye.
I'm like the type, if like Josh does something, I join him on the couch. I'm like, ooh, let's watch this together.
Yeah. Don't worry, Evers. With the tradition of me always walking in on your Witcher streams of like some kind of New Year sex scene going on, you can continue that with Baldur's Gate, so don't you worry.
Yeah.
That was just pure dumb luck.
Yeah, I'm
pure
sure it
dumb
was.
luck and chance.
Mm-hmm.
I didn't actively think, ooh, Zen's coming in today, so let's get it on with Tris.
Let's get the spice. Zenith like spice and everything nice. Let's fire it up. Yeah. But yeah, thank you all for hanging out with us today. Exclamation point social media, that will get you all the links to the TikTok and all that stuff. We should have another clip going up today. And then we will go ahead. I have to get episode 33 uploaded to YouTube. That should be coming up today too. And other than that, we will see you guys on the 17th. Good friends, good games. We got Dill, we got Everis, we got Zenith, and we got myself, Eric Anthony. And we'll see you guys all very, very soon. No one did bye during that one. I usually get a bye.
Bye. See you guys later. Yeah,
there it is. There it is.
Moo.
Why did you just moo? Moo.
Moo.